Meanwhile, you're always about women's business. Always talking about the sisters. Always talking to the sisters. They've got mahrams. They've got walis. They've got their guardians. And it isn't you. I mean, I hate to use their terminology, but this is about the most beta thing you can possibly do. Always in the women's section. And the irony is that these are the same ones who are endlessly droning on and on about masculinity. Meanwhile, you can't do the basic thing, the most basic thing that men do as men, which is to ignore women. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't mean that in an obnoxious way, but women have their world, their sphere, and men have their world and their sphere. But meanwhile, you're always trying to weasel your way into the sphere of women, under the guise of nasiha, under the guise of advice. But you're just like a peeping Tom who's trying to justify why he's doing what he's doing by saying that you're just trying to check up on the sisters to make sure that they're safe. No, it's not your business. The men are over here, brother. Meanwhile, you keep sliding your way back to where the sisters are. And this is very disrespectful. It's very insulting to their walis. I mean, let's take this offline, Let me catch you on the street talking to my wife or talking to my sisters about how they shouldn't go out, or they shouldn't go to the gym, or they shouldn't go to school, or you don't like the way they're dressed, or what have you. I wish you would. You better hope that that red pill you took is a painkiller, because you're going to be dancing cheek to cheek with the concrete. Yeah.
Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got my why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, baby. Get your life. Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got my why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, baby. Get your life. Run up when you see me, no disguises. Keep that thing with me, cause I don't do surprises. J Chanel, show and tell, all facts, no lies, streak. Get your life, cause I'm the type to come to it that 9 quick. Eyes on me, what you care for? Watching me, baby, care for. If you ain't a fan, where the cameras? Hide in the back with the bellboys. My circle so restricted. Hands raised like it's your religion. When I sleep, pay close attention. Fake friends out here pretending. Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got my why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, baby. Get your life. Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got my why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, baby. Get your life.
Focus there.
Watch them cause they after me like a pot of gold. I'm not for play, ask Keisha if you don't know. I'm a little bit cray-cray, approach me, you better be right. If you don't come correctly, you can catch these cans tonight. Eyes on me, what you care for? Watching me, baby, care for. If you ain't a fan, where the cameras? Hide in the back with the bellboys. My circle's so restricted. Hands raised like it's your religion. When I sleep, pay close attention. Fake friends out here pretending. Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got my why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, baby. Get your life.
Get your life.
Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got my why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, baby. Get your life.
Get your life, boo.
Good morning, good evening, good night, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's your nighttime, right time DJ Music. How we doing down there in the listening lounge? Give me a one or two if you folks can hear me. Hey, Zahara. Hey, that's Shar Willie. How you doing? Good to see y'all up in the clouds and every place hanging out here Friday. TGIF there, ladies and gentlemen, TGIF. Got my one or my two, so that means you folks can hear me loud and clear. How we doing? How we doing? How we doing? Y'all seeing on the screen? This nigga right here. This nigga was arguing with yeah, I know. Listen, before I go any further, folks, let me go ahead and introduce my co-host for this particular loose nigga roundup. My man, Dreadhead said, how you doing, good brother? How you living?
Hey,
how you living?
What's going on?
Good, I'm doing good. Hey, look, bro, let me just go ahead and straight on ask you. Would you consider it would you have an argument with AI? Let's just go ahead and just get it down to that science.
How do you even win an argument with AI?
It's virtually impossible because it's devoid of what said emotions. It has no emotions involved in it. So AI is only going to base on the parameters of what we as, dare I say, humans try to get it to mimic. So how would you win an argument with AI?
I'm just as confused as you are.
Right. I'm trying to figure it out. Not only, okay, I would have let it pass, let's say, if it was just Angryman and these folks in the YouTube streets arguing about it. But before we get to the Angryman arguing with AI, this nigga actually told AI, checkmate, bitch. Like he was talking to somebody. You'll see that a little bit. Well, you won't see it, but you'll hear it a little bit later on. Also, one of our esteemed members of Congress, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she had an argument with AI as well. What did I tell y'all about her?
Well, I can expect that from her.
Yeah.
Like for real.
Mm-hmm. She ain't the brightest. She ain't the sharpest knife.
She ain't the brightest crayon in the box, neither. Bro.
No, sir, not by no stretch of the imagination. And what's bad about it? I know we're gonna get, of course, talking about her. We're gonna get into a little political arena about it, said. But the district that she represents is one of the districts that's being hurt the most.
Well, you get what you vote for.
Yeah.
What has she really done for that district since she's been in there?
Nothing.
She ain't introduced no bills. She ain't got no bills passed. She's just there.
Nothing. This is her second term in Congress, if I remember correctly. Folks, what's up there, Black Hawk? How you living, good brother? If I remember correctly, said she was stripped of all committee assignments in her first time around, based on some of the dare I say it, conspiracy theories that she was spouting.
Yeah, she was doing a lot, man. She was in the chamber, literally showing naked pictures of Hunter Biden as well, which literally doing it.
Well, let me ask you, Sid. Now you brought it up. So, what do you think happened to that particular thing? I thought the Biden crime family had to go down.
Well, Biden pardoned his son, which pissed a lot of people off.
It pissed a whole lot of people off. But
I'm like this. If I'm the president, and even if my son did do something, I'm the president. If I got the power to pardon him, I'm just gonna pardon him. You know what I'm saying?
Damn sure gonna be my son.
Damn well Trump is gonna pardon all his people.
Anybody, we see that January 6th. Anybody that got in trouble doing January 6th, they scot free right now. Some of them dead, and some of them went. Some of them dead, and some of them went back to jail.
No one was better off in jail. They should have stayed.
Yeah, they were. They absolutely were. You're absolutely right. Say they were better off in jail. But folks, this is what we got. This is what we got here. We got a seated member of Congress arguing with AI. And then we have one of the, I don't want to, I guess I'll have to call him, got to give credit where credit's due. When you look at Angryman as a body of work, they consider him one of the upper echelon folks that on the YouTube streets, especially in the black YouTube streets that a lot of us frequent. Angryman this, Angryman that. They come down, Angryman comes to a lot of folks' channel, they bow down to him. Not over here.
Definitely.
And so, right, so Angryman, if you should ever happen to wander over this side here, especially if I'm live, and you want to hit that link, just let me know, bro, and we can have a conversation about why you decided it was good as a grown man to sit down and have an argument. Because it's not a debate, bro. Let's sit down and have an argument with AI, and then use the word checkmate like you just did something amazing. But before we do that, folks, let's go over, of course, I don't want to use video footage on some things, but Marjorie Taylor Greene, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Y'all listen to this.
Nothing quite like watching Marjorie Taylor Greene argue with the computer. She took to Twitter writing, "I'm a Christian, an imperfect sinner, saved by grace and faith in Jesus. I'm a nationalist, a proud American who loves my country and wants to make our home nation the best place for all American citizens and future generations to come. I'm a mother, thankful for the blessings and responsibility God gave me with my children. I'm a business owner, humbled and grateful to be able to work as hard as humanly possible in the greatest country in the world, to be successful, where nothing is given and all is earned. I'm a representative elected to serve the greatest people from the greatest district in the greatest country on earth. May God bless each of you and may God bless America." So some nice virtue signaling wrapped in a...
Now, if you folks don't recognize that voice, that is Brian Taylor Cohen. I would suggest I follow him. Tyler Cohen, I'm sorry. Yeah. Tyler Cohen, yes, you appreciate that. But I follow him. He's always on top of things, always, to me, fair and biased. Going over support the man's channel. I've been with him. I guess you can call me one of his day ones. So, again, because he's gotten a little bit more, not a little bit more popular, a whole lot more popular, it tends to... demonetize the streams when I use them, so we'll only go with his voice instead of it. So let's get on back to it. But again, this is what those folks over there do. They always talk about their Christian values and how much they love Jesus and all this other stuff. So again, this next part, AI calls her out on it. So here we go. Sid, before we go any further, anything?
I'll listen.
Virtue signaling wrapped in a bunch of platitudes, and then Grok, the Elon Musk-owned AI tool, was asked about Greene's Christianity in light of that virtue signaling, and Grok wrote, "Marjorie Taylor Greene identifies as a Christian, expressing faith in Jesus and traditional beliefs, like in her 2021 Christmas message. However, her Christian nationalism and support for conspiracy theories like QAnon sparked debate. Critics, including religious leaders, argue her actions contradict Christian values of love and unity, citing her defense of January 6th and divisive rhetoric. Supporters may see her stances as faith-driven. Whether she's really a Christian is subjective, depending on personal and theological views. Her faith appears genuine to her, but public actions create controversy." To which Greene responded, "Grok, the judgment seat belongs to God, not you, a non-human AI platform. Grok is left-leaning and continues to spread fake news and propaganda. When people give up their own discernment, stop seeking the truth, and depend on AI to analyze information, they will be lost." No, nothing, just Marjorie Taylor Greene arguing with AI. Now, first of all, if you feel the need to argue with AI to justify your Christianity, then perhaps your views, your beliefs are a little more fragile than you're letting on.
Well, Angry Man, did you hear that? If you feel the need to have fire up a stream and argue with AI, perhaps you don't really believe what you are saying. Perhaps your views and your ideas, not coming from me, but this is coming from somewhat of the experts there, folks. Perhaps your views and your ideas a little bit, maybe it should be a time for you to take a little self-reflection, because it's not normal for anyone to decide that they want to argue or have a debate with AI, because you cannot win. It's devoid of human emotions. And that's what the difference between AI, a debate with AI, as you say, Angry Man, and what can I call it, a conversation? Because it's really not. It's devoid of emotion. See it?
Well, back to Marjorie Taylor Greene arguing with AI about her being a Christian. I'm going to say this. Ain't nothing Christian about none of these Republicans.
Nothing.
None of them. If Jesus was to come back and see these people doing everything that they're doing in his name, the rapture will be here in less than 15 minutes. I'm just saying. And as far as Angry Man is concerned, maybe he's the AI. Because I think the AI maybe had more sense than he did.
maybe AI or GI, and I don't mean in the military. I mean gibbering idiot, because that's what we're going to hear here in a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. Again,
artificial idiocy.
Artificial idiots. But this is in real time, folks. Let's continue with Marjorie Taylor Greene. But again, you'll notice with both Marjorie Taylor Greene and Angryman, why I deduced the idea that they really think that they are talking to a human, because they use pronouns as they're speaking to them. You, I. Don't you use those when you're talking to someone?
I'm scratching my head on this one, brother.
That's all we can do, Sid.
I think I just lost a dread.
Yeah, don't scratch. Right, don't scratch too hard, folks. I know a lot of y'all looking at the screen like, what the fuck? I did. I had to listen to this a couple of times, and each time I said it every time. Did this nigga just say that?
The fact that Grok is not a person, it's not partisan, certainly isn't left-leaning. It just aggregates actual data that will either support or refute a theory. In this case, the idea that Marjorie Taylor Greene behaves completely antithetically to the teachings of her own religion. And whereas it's normally easy for someone like Greene to attack a person and their subjective beliefs for arguing with her, it's a lot more damning when it's AI doing it, because you're essentially just arguing with facts. And that's why Greene is so butthurt about being exposed.
Did you hear that, Angryman, and anyone else that decide that they want to go over and prove AI wrong? Don't ever use the word checkmate, bitch, because essentially you are arguing with facts. You didn't dispute anything. You can't beat AI because it's loaded with facts, unless someone programs AI to be wrong. But who does that? See?
I don't know. Maybe in Marjorie's case, the AI didn't call her bad built, blonde, bad built, have Jasmine Crockett
bleach
blonde,
bad built butch body.
Somebody need to program that in the AI, so next time she argues with it, they gotta.
Right, but again, the AI is just pointing out dare I use the word that they like to throw around here, the hypocrisy of what she actually says she stands for.
Mm-hmm.
You and the same thing will go for you, Angryman. It's you can't say you stand for one thing and tell an AI it's wrong. Checkmate, bitch. The fuck.
You know, that kind of reminds me of Star Trek with Lieutenant Data. You know, he was always like going off of the reasoning that he was programmed with compared to the emotions that everybody else was dealing with.
Absolutely, Sid. And you know why you mentioned that while I was reviewing this and editing this, that's what I thought of. I wonder what Data would think about this shit.
Data is more human than these two clowns.
And Data has the idea, the wherewithal to recognize that you can't beat me.
This is crazy.
The reality is that Marjorie Taylor Greene is part of a long line of Republicans who pervert Christianity and use it as a shield to perpetuate an agenda that is outright hostile to Christianity. The difficult part has been that for so long, the left has had so few, if any, people who are able to push back. But that's changing now that some Democrats actually follow the teachings of Christ and aren't willing to allow Republicans to co-opt the religion. Like, for example, Bishop Marion Edgar Budde, who had the opportunity to speak directly to Trump when he first took office a few months back for his second term, and she didn't waste her opportunity.
Mr. President, millions have put their trust in you. And as you told the nation yesterday, you have felt the providential hand of a loving God. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families, some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meat-packing plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, But the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands to find compassion and welcome here. Our God teaches us that we are to be merciful to the stranger, for we were all once strangers in this land.
Or Texas state legislator James Tallarico.
Christian nationalists have taken Trump as their new Christ because he's everything the first one was not. Jesus was poor. Trump is rich. Jesus was meek. Trump is a bully. Jesus lost. And Trump is obsessed with winning.
And said, I just wanted you to hear that part of it, because funny, when you walked in the door, that's what you mentioned, wasn't it?
Yep.
So Marjorie Taylor Greene, and in your quest to fight with AI, this is what AI was pointing out to you. They was pointing out the difference of how you can call yourself a Christian, or anyone in the Trump regime call themselves a Christian, when you literally taking children away from their mothers, or making mothers have a choice of getting deported and leave their infant children behind, or taking folks with disabilities, or accusing folks that of being MS-13, snatching them off the street. The list goes on and on of what this Trump regime is doing, cutting SNAP benefits, cutting health benefits, cutting all kinds of things for the elderly, for the poor. Christians do not do this. Say it?
Yeah, they don't. And I'm gonna tell you something else. If anybody ever looked at the inauguration, you know that when they inaugurated Trump, he never touched the Bible. He put his hand over the Bible. He never touched it.
He absolutely did not. It probably would have burnt. It probably would have.
He never swore to God that he was going to be a civilized and tolerant person.
He most certainly didn't. He most certainly did not, Sid. It most certainly didn't. But I just wanted to start it off with that, folks, to give y'all a little perspective on what we're about to listen to next. I know Marjorie Taylor Greene is a little far off. Most of us will never have a direct confrontation with her or talk to her personally, not unless we're a constituent of hers. Chances are most of us will never meet her. But in this case, we can't say that it's about this next guy that was up here arguing with AI. I think it was almost a 2-hour stream, but arguing with AI, and he kept going back and forth with it. But I took about a 29-30 minute snippet of it. So folks, without further ado, let me remove this from the screen, and I gotta say it up top there, Angry Man, fair use. The same way you like to talk about other people sometimes need to talk about you. And this is crazy. This goes out to all your supporters. This is who y'all follow. This is your king. This is the guy that you guys will sit up on a panel and say and bow down to, and say, Angry Man know what he's talking about. Angry Man got all the answers. Angry Man is cooking. A grown ass fucking man about to argue with AI.
But this video was a catalyst for a thought process that I think we really need to meet out. I think we really need to explore.
Okay, for all you folks that can't see, there he is, broad daylight, sitting out on his porch. He think he's about to give you some information. Said, now, I know you said you never heard of this guy before. So far, my man, from the second time that you've heard from this guy, what would be your overall assessment of him?
Yeah, he's angry, but he's angry for the wrong reasons. That's what I think. He's angry at the wrong people.
What do you think he should be angry at, Sid?
Same people we should be angry at.
Yeah, yeah.
But
So,
you know, it's easier to pick on your own than it is to pick on other people.
it is easy to shit on your porch, right?
Mm-hmm. Wonder how many buckets you got on that porch.
But look, he got a whole lot of buckets on there. Listen, he hawk and he spit and he do everything. That's another reason why I kind of took him off camera, because ain't no telling, especially when he outside, he gonna hawk up a lunga.
I
Nobody
know
want
the
to see
last
that,
time
man.
you put him on. The last time you put him on, he was sniffing on something. I don't think that was albuterol or nothing. I was sniffing something.
Well, he does it again in this video, but you folks won't see it. But this is I wanted y'all to see his face up front, so he knows directly that I am speaking about him again. You gave me reason to speak about you. You use AI as a tool to prove us wrong. I heard you in your video say that anybody who can prove me, or there's no black woman or black man that can defeat me, because I defeated AI. Nigga, how?
You know, maybe AI is laughing at him.
If AI had emotions, the motherfucker would be knee slapping right now. Talk about music, you can, right?
Yeah, this is crazy, man. I ain't never thought about nobody arguing with AI. You know, now I understand, like when you're in your car or when you're talking to the AI on the phone and it keep, you know, and it irritates you. I can understand people yelling at AI trying to get it to understand them, but never to argue with them to prove the point.
No, and see, that's another good point. Said folks think AI is something brand new. AI been around for a long time, hasn't it? What the fuck y'all? What the hell y'all think GPS is? What y'all think is that automatic phone line is? That what they call them robocalls? All that's AI, folks. It's artificial intelligence. It's been around for a long time. In the military, we call what we seeing now, we call this tactical to practical. Been in the military for years. Heads up displays in airplanes, tanks, guided missiles. AI been around for a long time, folks. I never seen nobody sit down and have a conversation with AI and said, I beat it. But somebody said Angryman must be special. And you know, Zahara, I thought about that too. You think how smart you got to be to outsmart AI. You should be somebody should be interviewing you. You shouldn't be just on Fox Soul.
Yeah, he should be like a level 9 genius or something.
Right. We should be talking about it. We should be talking about him like we talk about the guy in the wheelchair. What's his name?
Stephen Hawkins.
Yeah, that's what we should be talking about, because that's the level that you have to be, angry man, to defeat AI.
Well, he definitely knows Stephen Hawkins.
Shit, he ain't even a Stephen. Oh, that nigga on that nag.
And try to figure out what's going on here, which is why I titled this video Entrapment or Expression.
Okay, let's start right there. How do you title a video Entrapment or Expression and then go to AI? Entrapment has to do with what? We saw that. Expression has to do with what? Human emotion. So why the fuck would you be over at AI? AI is devoid of emotion, so you might as well stop your video right here, angry man. You shouldn't go no farther than this. Say it, hit me.
I'm just trying to figure out what is the point of the whole video. So I haven't seen it, so I'm gonna look at it, and I know I'm gonna have an opinion by the time I get about 2 or 3 minutes into it.
Yeah, dumbfounded. Listen.
Women's revealing posts versus men's comments. Right? In fact, when I was asking AI to help me with the title, I gave the context. And you know, do you realize that AI tried to give me a lecture? AI tried to give me a lecture.
Angry man. Again, AI can't give you a lecture. It's only going to give you facts. I'm going to repeat this several times in hopes that you listen to one of them. AI is not human. It can't lecture you.
He tried to give me a lecture. This is what I said to AI, right? I said, so now we live in a day and age where women seem to objectify themselves by taking photos where they are inappropriately dressed or photos where they focus on their booty. And I've noticed women are complaining about men commenting on their butts. So my question is this entrapment or is this just expression, right? This is what I said to the AI, trying to give the AI context so that it could help me with the title. And this is what AI said. It's a messy situation, isn't it? People post what they want online. That's not true.
Yes, it is. People post what they want online. Sid, do you post what you want online?
Yeah, and I don't post what I don't want online. I mean,
Right.
I'm trying to figure this one out, bro.
So how is that not true? People post what they want online. You post for two reasons: either to attention or to alert somebody of something that's going on. So people post what they want, whether it's male or female. Now you may not agree with the post, but people do post what they want, or the YouTube streets wouldn't even exist with it. We wouldn't be having this conversation, would we, Angry Man, if you didn't post what you wanted to post? Would we? You can't be this dumb.
I think he is.
I think
men
so
can't
too.
post what they want online.
And then he follows it up with men can't post what they want online. Oh no. The internet is full of loose niggas posting what they want.
Yeah, more so now than ever.
What? Just today, I posted on Facebook and YouTube a placard called Summer Concert Series. Folks either gonna look at it or they're not. But I posted what I wanted to. Am I not a man?
Well, what I'm thinking is he's saying that ain't nobody posting the eggplant pics like women post butt pics, I guess.
Yeah,
but that ain't true neither.
Right, but as a grown man, why would you want to post a picture of you in a Speedo and a wife beater?
Hey, but there's guys that do it.
Absolutely. What was
There's
that
guys
guy?
that
One
do
of that
it.
superhero? What was the superhero they called? What was his name? Jonathan Majors. What didn't he have on a picture with him with a fur hat on and fur wrapped around him and lipstick or something like that? Who was that?
That was it Kane the Conqueror? Are you talking about from the Marvel movies?
Yeah.
It's Kane the Conqueror.
Yeah. And that's one of the Manosphere heroes. They didn't. He posted that picture.
But my whole thing is, I think he's just trying to drum up some type of controversy because women has been posting pics like that since MySpace. I'll even go back further than that, Black Planet.
But farther than that, AOL, you got mail.
Yeah, but I think they had to have a website then.
Yeah, but ever since the days, whether it be the automatic, like you can post a picture now. Hey there, HT Ball One, what's up there, good brother? Whether you can post a picture automatically, folks can see it, or you had to, go to the download and all that other stuff. They still, men and women, even back in them days, were still posting what they wanted to. Whether some people deemed it inappropriate, or appropriate, they still posted what they wanted to. Correct or not, sir?
That's correct. But I think it's a deeper meaning why he had a problem with it.
Yeah,
I think it is.
There's a dude called, and he's famous for using this. He calls it the shame, blame, and explain, right? And that's what they're doing. This is what he's famous for. Shame, trying to shame the women, then blame the women, and then explain to why he is sitting up on the stream talking about how women dress. How would you know if you're not looking? That's my thing. But let's go.
People post what they want online, often for attention or self-expression. Yeah, some women choose revealing photos to highlight their bodies. That's their call. Freedom to share what they're proud of or how they feel confident. But here's the rub. Posting something doesn't mean it's an open invitation for comments. No, that's exactly what the fuck it means. I am so sick and tired of this modern society trying to fucking program us and train us into some bullshit. Whoever is programming these AI softwares are putting all kinds of bias all up and through it. This is not what a computer or an art.
Now, again, we all have biases, implicit or manufactured. We all have biases, folks. AI does not have biases. Again, he's arguing a moot point. But again, if you hear it in his voice, and if you go back and watch the video, you will see this man, this person, being physically upset that the AI does not agree with him. And it goes back to the point of what Brian Cohen said earlier. It's fact driven. It's fact based. So just because it does not align with your point, that doesn't make AI wrong. Chances are it makes you wrong, angry man. Say it.
I feel wrong.
I know. We got to sit through this, bro. I know. I know. Listen, it's really hard to offer up commentary on dumb shit, isn't it?
That's true. But you know what?
Really
I'm starting to see something, and it's becoming very clear. I think that maybe he commented on somebody's picture, and they took one look at him and went the fuck off. For real.
Wait, see, he said to see he was looking at somebody, says, hey, let me see a picture of you. Well, he always posts on, and it said angry man, and he had one of them, he posted the duck lip post, and they said, oh hell no, don't post no more.
Yeah, he probably posted and commented on somebody's picture, and she was like, what the fuck? Oh,
Fuck
hell the fuck no. You know how black women get when they see something they don't like, boy.
Hell
They
no.
get into it.
It's a gorilla.
This orangutan Chewbacca looking ass nigga.
Listen, a little bit later on, we're gonna get to that since we bring it up gorillas. Towards the end of this, he gonna give you his take on how 10 men can beat up a gorilla.
Oh my god.
After arguing with an AI. Yep.
And even AI got that realistically. They said if you got 100 men versus a gorilla, the gorilla is going to lose. Because the gorilla can only fight with brute force, but the people that's coming at the gorilla is going to come with weapons. So that's a mute argument.
Right. And that's the only way that they can defeat the gorilla. They literally have to have weapons. But 100 men by themselves, just on strength, they're not going to beat that gorilla.
Oh, no.
They're not going to. You literally have to have something to incapacitate the gorilla, folks. The first 10, the first 15, the first 20 is wiped out automatically.
Yeah, they're going to get to the pearly gates real quick.
Right quick. Like before the gorilla even gets started whipping ass, they're gone already. That's not counting the ones that's gonna see what's happening and haul ass. But anyway, let's get back to this. Angry man, come on.
Artificial intelligence that is strictly biased and logical would say. This is what some leftard, liberal, Democrat, progressive asshole would say. No, it doesn't matter how women post. They can dress the way they want to do. That's just them being confident and expressing their. Get out of here. Inappropriate is inappropriate.
So, Angry man, I'll ask you, and I'll ask you first. Would you and I see the same women as inappropriate? If she dressed the same, you might see her as sexy, and I might see her as inappropriate. So, who and what eyes does the word inappropriate come from?
Well, the only thing I can see him saying, and the only point I can make about the appropriate and inappropriate is where you at. Like if you're in church and you dressing like you at the club, like literally,
that's
at the strip
inappropriate.
club, that's inappropriate.
Yes. Absolutely. The majority of folks in that church would agree with you and I on that. But if you're in the grocery store, if you're in Publix and you're wearing maybe a short skirt or a short dress, or I'm not saying you, I'm talking about women, that's not inappropriate.
I would hope not.
Or
I don't think I went to Publix in the skirt before.
Right. I should hope not. It's just something you won't talk about later on, bro.
No, I just said I've never been to Publix.
Listen, I support everybody, man. I'm just kidding.
But I don't live in Georgia no more. But I remember being in Georgia, and between Publix and Walmart, you've seen a lot of skin. If you know what I mean.
Publix in Georgia, they used to call it the club. I lived in Stone Mountain, Georgia, and the Publix that was right down the street from me, folks, that was the club. That's what they called it, because the women would come in there, it seemed to me, in their Sunday best. It wasn't inappropriate. Me personally, I like a little thigh. I like a little cleavage.
Well, you got to be careful down there in Georgia, man. Because
yeah, you do too.
You got to be real careful down
all
there.
I can tell you is don't go around little 5 points. Yeah, you got to be careful in that area.
Some of them dudes look better than the women.
Hey, listen. All I can say is don't make sure if you're that kind of person, if you want to reach for a clutch or if you think about it, never mind. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna leave it at that. But Angry man, you don't have the right to tell someone what they're wearing is inappropriate or not. Of course, in some places, like said in church, you shouldn't be wearing a revealing dress, or a man should not be wearing something that that's revealing anyway in church, or any place that's a public gathering, or some place where there's might be small children. Of course.
But my question is, why do he even care?
I don't know. I haven't figured it out.
I wouldn't care if somebody want to walk outside half naked. That's on them.
That's on them. But also said he supposedly is married. So why do you care what women are wearing? Yeah. HT Ball 1. AI is a Democrat. Y'all didn't know that? AI is a Democrat, a leftist Democrat on top of that. But again, folks, if you think that you hear his voice with this, it sounds like he's in outrage. If you go look at the video, the actual footage, he's mad at AI. Literally. Y'all listen. Tell me if this dude ain't upset.
If a dude,
and we ain't got to the good part yet,
took constant pictures of his crotch, there's no way everybody would be like, well, he's just confident. No, they wouldn't. They would say he's a pervert.
Okay, well, they would be right for saying that. So why would you take pictures of your tallywhacker and post them? Why would you want to? Why would that be the alternative to a woman wearing a short dress or something that you deem to be inappropriate? Why is the alternative, Angry man, taking a picture of your crotch? Right.
I don't know. I think that maybe that's what you want to see more of.
Crotch, men's crotch.
Yeah, I think that's what he. I think that's what he want to see. I think he's tired of looking at women. He just want to start seeing men now.
It said married or not. When do you gonna get tired of looking at
What
women?
does that mean?
Right. Right. When you gonna get tired of looking at women?
Never.
Okay.
I see beautiful women all the time, and even though I may not comment on it, I don't approach them. I don't say nothing inappropriate. You know, I got my opinion, but I keep it to myself.
That's right. And that's it, right? You can look at a beautiful woman, and you ain't got to speak out loud. You could think what she has on, and that takes us to the point. You could think what she has on is inappropriate, but that's not your right to make a judge her for that. That's why I played that clip at the beginning. That's not your woman. That's not that woman doesn't belong to you. You have no agency over that woman, so you have no right to tell her what's inappropriate, what's not. If that was my sister, you'd probably get busted upside the head. If that was my wife, it wouldn't be no problem about it. You would get busted upside the head.
That's what they would say. Shout out to Omar. Said, I find it goofy when simps say that men don't really like women. Maybe if women were just as proud of their femininity as they were of their bodies, we'd have something more to like about them. Trust.
Well, according to them, a simp is a sucker for a woman. So how did that comment make sense, Angry Man?
I think he made that up.
Listen.
I think he made that up because that wasn't well thought out.
It was not, was it? It didn't make sense, did it? But again, a lot of folks say that the folks in this chat room ain't actual real folks. They bots, AI bots.
And that could be the reason why he got so many views.
A lot of folks say that. Sure do. A lot of folks say that, said, not only you. And again, this is only your second time running into this dude, right?
Hopefully it'll be the last.
Well, I was thinking
I don't think it is.
No, it's not, because he's gonna do something. He's gonna do something stupid. He's gonna say something stupid, or he's gonna do something stupid. Guarantee it. I'll guarantee it. I'll guarantee it.
You know, you just played that clip of Charlie Murphy, right?
Uh-huh.
Imagine if Charlie Murphy was in this conversation or talking to him and arguing with him about AI.
He wouldn't.
He wouldn't last.
He wouldn't last. No, he wouldn't. Charlie Murphy would have roasted the floor with him.
He'd have roasted the fuck out of him.
Yeah. Charlie Murphy. Yeah, listen, who's this dumb motherfucker right here? They calling the Angry Man. Wrong.
Man.
Wrong. See, he like to argue with women, huh? 800K worth of bots. Again, this is my thing about the Angry Man, folks. You can agree or disagree with it. But me, if I have close to 800K subs, I do not have time to be at other people's chat rooms. I do not have time to be running 2 channels. I do not have time to be sitting around talking about the ills of women. If you don't believe me, go back and go to Angry Man's channel on YouTube. Type it in. I'm not saying you have to subscribe or anything, but go over there and check out his last 8, 9 to 10 videos. If the nigga ain't complaining about a woman, I'm Santa Claus with purple underwear on.
Appreciate you, bro. So it says, but here's the rub. Posting something doesn't mean it's an open invitation for comments, especially ones that cross into crude or objectifying territory. How is your comment crude?
Okay, folks, if you notice, I put that on the screen for a reason. Okay, let me go back here. Let me put that back on the screen. Oh, my bad. I went a little too far. Okay, there we go. As you notice, you see 3 types of women here. One, as an old Sesame Street thinks there, one of these things just does not belong here. Can y'all tell me what's wrong with this picture? One of these women has nothing to do with track. Why is she in this picture?
Oh, okay, I get it. It took me a hot second, but I get it. Because, that's swimwear. So I was thinking that she was a swimmer or something.
But these are track uniforms that they're wearing. And notice every girl in the picture is either their ass is showing or they're bent or in some kind of compromising situation. So, Angry Man, this is what they're talking about, objectifying. These women were not running track had to have a picture of them taking over, showing their ass crack.
Yeah, you didn't even post the gymnast, so. But maybe he don't.
Right.
Maybe he feel the same way. Maybe he don't watch like female track, gymnastics or swimming. Maybe he don't watch this stuff. He probably feel the same way.
Through the years, since the days of FloJo, the track and field outfits have gotten much smaller, haven't they said?
Oh yeah.
But when I watch a track meet, of course, as a man, I'm thinking, damn, that's kind of small, but I'm there for the athletic part of it. I'm not there to objectify the sexuality of this woman. I want to see how fast she can run. Sha'Carri Richardson
but even if that was the case, I mean, it's part of the uniform. So it's like you complain about everyday women, but you don't complain about these girls. You know what I'm saying? And these are mostly like teenagers. These are babies.
These are teenagers here. Exactly. So my point to whoever put this picture together, this is what, and it would be an example of what objectifying someone would be. The main reason to what made this picture stand out to me is here it is. You have possibly a woman at a beach or something, or modeling a bikini. But then because of the man in us, we objectify this women and put them all in the same space. Look at that ass. Look at them titties. Angry Man. So although the majority of this picture is innocent because it was placed, one picture was placed in there, it now became what? Sexual. I don't think no woman put this together. How about you, Sid?
I doubt it. But even if it was, this picture don't bother me at all.
And it actually it doesn't. To me, it looks all right to me.
But I don't think he's ever been to a beach.
He lives in North Carolina. Well, he lives in North Carolina. He's, from what I understand, he's been around in Virginia. So it'd be hard to say that he's never been to the beach before, Sid. Just based on some of the conversations that I've heard him say. I've heard him talk about walking the boardwalk in Virginia Beach and stuff like that. So he's been to the beach. I just think he's one of these guys that's think that he has agency over women, not only his women but all women, and it's his duty to correct women. I really believe she thinks that. That's what he believes that his platform is for, calling out the ills of black women, as he sees it.
Right, because white women wear the same stuff.
Absolutely, they do. Absolutely,
but he's not saying nothing about white women or
no
Asian and Hispanic women. It's just black women.
No,
got a problem
it's
with.
Black women. Right. Absolutely.
Okay, so that means that he got to be either Muslim or with the Nation of Islam or something, because if he want women covered up, I mean, they're the only people that really want their women covered up.
I never heard him speak about religion at all, other than he's an absolute
idiot.
Yeah. If that's a religion, he falls right into that spectacularly.
Yeah, he got a new religion, artificial idiocy. That's the religion. That's what everybody that follows him follow. That's the code.
Yeah, that's the thing. Let's continue here. Well, Ice Cube coming up right at you saying, nigga, please, because nothing you said just now made sense, Angry Man.
If you're commenting on a crude photo, how is your comment objectifying if you're commenting on a photo where the woman is objectifying herself? It's like wearing a cool outfit to a party. You might want to stand out, but that doesn't mean you're asking for someone to get in your space or make it weird. No, if you wear a cool outfit to a party, you're going to expect somebody to comment on it. That's part of the reason you wore the outfit.
No. I know one thing for sure. When I used to hang up, when I used to put on my Sunday best and go to the club, the only person that I cared about what I looked like walking out that door was me. I was only trying to impress one person. And that's the person that suited my fancy. That's who I was dressing for. I was not dressing for everybody else who else is concerned, keeping up with the Joneses. Now, maybe that, can I say, is that a female thing? I don't think that you could walk into a club and see two females with the same dress on and they're happy about it. What about you, Sid?
Oh, I didn't see women go at it because of that.
I know damn well you ain't got the same dress I got on. What? You ain't had to wear that. Girl, where you get your purse at? I don't think men go to the club with the idea of thinking, yeah, I know these niggas gonna be mad when I step in there with these on tonight.
No, because we don't do that. I mean, the majority of the guys that go in the clubs usually have on ones. You don't see them fighting over that.
Right. No. So I understand. I don't understand his correlation so far. Nothing that you're saying to AI would make sense. But here in a minute, folks, he's only reading what he talked to AI about, but he's about to actual pull up AI and talk to it. I guess they call it Gronk. He's about to talk to it here in a little bit. Y'all wait.
To get attention. The issue comes when comments focus solely on sexualizing someone's body, ignoring their agency or context. What? It's not about the post being inappropriate. It's about respect. People can post what they want, but nobody owes anyone a free pass to leer or harass. First of all, people can't post what they want. Half-naked women can post what they want, but everybody can't post what they want.
Well, what the fuck you call that? What is that right there? Is he not half naked? Either him or his team posted that. So what you mean folks can't post what they want to? To some women, that's art. That is not inappropriate. But to some niggas, that's inappropriate. To some women, that's inappropriate. Inappropriate becomes in the eye of the person that's looking at it. If you don't like that picture, scroll on past it, right? Right, Sid?
I agree.
This picture wouldn't have caught my attention simply because I'm not damn sure at no time have been, ever will be into men. So this picture wouldn't have caught my attention. I imagine he had posted this picture for who?
The ladies, of course. Okay. Of course. Now, I will say this, okay? Now, a lot of people don't know this, but I'm a comic book artist. Like, literally, I can draw everybody from Spider-Man to Superman to the Incredible Hulk with my eyes closed, seriously. So, seeing him like that, it don't bother me because that's what I draw this stuff.
You draw it.
You know what I mean?
Right. So you could take this photo and turn it into something.
I can turn it into a comic. I can turn it into a comic book cover, page, splash panel, whatever. But I don't know. I think Angryman's problem is that he can't post what he want to post.
It's coming down. It comes down to that. It seems like he's upset that either one of his posts got taken down or somebody argued with him about a post that he put up.
Yeah, it probably called him inappropriate. It got to be a reason why he's upset about it, because I don't think it's because a woman posts a picture. Because what man don't want to see a sexy woman at least once a day?
I don't know. Again, no disrespect to the alphabet community, but those are the only men that I could think that don't want to see a picture of a half naked woman. And not being disrespectful for them when I'm saying that, but that's not their preference. But me, that's one of the reasons why I go to Instagram. Ooh, look at him. Look at Lord. Look at him.
Yeah, maybe it's him. Maybe he is insecure about himself.
Well, he don't look
And he
like the
has
fit.
every reason to be.
Well, said I do call him a no content having 3 sandwich eating pot bellied motherfucker. And I ain't the only one that call him pot bellied. I ain't the only one talk about his teeth. I ain't the only one talk about that hat that he put on his head that was too small for him. I'm not the only one that talk about him dyeing his beard from time to time.
Which I'm still trying to figure that one out.
That rainbow beard.
How you dye your beard
Get
burnt
online.
orange, but your gray hair is still showing.
And get online and complain about what somebody else is posting.
And this is what I told AI. I said, pause. I didn't ask you for your commentary on the situation. What I asked for is help with a live stream title. Stop giving me woke crap. In fact, let me talk to the AI again.
What is woke said?
I don't know the total definition of it, but I think it got a lot to do with inclusion.
What
reality of the inclusion, as far as like people that are actually LGBTQ, and
right. What they did was they hijacked something that was originated by black people, meaning woke back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and part of the 80s. Mean be aware of your surroundings, especially when you're traveling through sundown towns. Stay woke. Keep your eyes open. That's what woke meant. That's what it originally meant. But it got hijacked somewhere around the middle 80s. It got hijacked, just like with everything else. Every time black people do something, but that was the original term of it. Stay woke wherever you go, especially when you're traveling down south. Don't get caught after sundown in a sundown town. Stay woke. If you see a sign that says you're not welcome here, stay woke. Don't go. Don't try and prove a point. Stay woke. Make sure you're of your surroundings. Teach your children what it is to not to go here or to there. That's what the original term was woke was about. Until DeSantis hijacked it again, where he's clearly and calmly said, "Where woke comes to die in Florida," meaning, as Erykah Badu said, "Where black comes to die in Florida."
Yeah, and I'm on YouTube a lot, and I had to kind of stop YouTube from suggesting certain channels to me, because they always talk about these video games, like video game YouTubers. They always talking about GTA 6 is woke. They had to take it out. It's another game that's out that's based in Louisiana. I don't know the name of it, but it's about a black girl. Anything that had anything to do with any black video game characters, they label the game as woke. So
woke. That's right.
Yeah, they definitely hijacked it.
The Little Mermaid was woke. All the Disney
the black
cartoons, right? All of that is being woke. There could be no such thing as a black Santa Claus. Remember, Megyn Kelly said that on air. Santa Claus is white. Don't let anyone fool you that. No, the Santa Claus that y'all created was white. But the original Santa Claus, there was someone named as Saint Nicholas. And he was a saint that went around building little toys for wood toys for kids that are not inappropriate, but less fortunate, I should say, children, and leaving them on their doorsteps. So there was such a person called Saint Nicholas. Saint Nicholas was black.
That's what they said about Jesus. They said Jesus was a brown skin and wool hair. So I guess the white Jesus would make it woke too, right?
Again, they claim to be Christians in the Bible. I'm not sure exactly of the chapter, the verse, or whatever, but it gives a physical description of what Jesus could have been. Said his hair was what, of like wool,
and his skin
his skin bronze.
was
His
bronze.
ankles were bronze. What color was that to you?
No, it's the white guy that they keep putting on these pictures and everything. That's who they think Jesus is.
Again,
but you know they whiteify everything.
Yeah, it's an easy argument to diffuse by their own carbon dating. What the Jesus that they have posted all over the place can't be real, just based on their own carbon dating. Their own carbon dating said the original person was a dark skinned person,
right? Which in them days was consistent of being partly in Africa, like Egypt,
that's
and
right.
Jerusalem. You know where they having all these problems at now with the Palestinians. Those was the God's chosen people, I guess.
Absolutely it was. Hey there, Bridget M. How you doing? Great to see you. Welcome in. Let's continue here, sir.
Let me talk to the AI again. Earlier, you told me that commenting on a woman's picture that I find to be inappropriate wasn't right because she's just expressing herself, saying that just because somebody posts certain photos doesn't mean you should make crude or inappropriate or objectifying comments. How can a comment be crude if they're commenting on a crude photo? And how can someone be objectifying someone who's already objectifying themselves?
Well, look, before we go any further with that, I'm not AI, and I can answer that. Who determined what crude is? Because you may see something as crude, angry man. I might not visualize it as crude. I might visualize it as okay. Wouldn't that make sense, sir?
Yeah. You know, it's a country. I don't know the country. I've seen it. It's a country where the women intentionally become obese so that they can get married. That's the only way they can get married. Like women of normal proportions that we would think of, or sexy proportions, are not attractive to those men. And even in the past, you know, if you look at a lot of pictures of women in the past, like, you know, paintings and everything, a lot of those women was overweight too.
A lot of men.
They was
right.
Yeah, being overweight was a form of wealth, was a sign of wealth and beauty.
Absolutely, it was. In some countries, it still is. It still is.
So, I mean, who exactly is he talking about? I mean, is he talking about skinny women, big women? Because there's a lot of big girls that kind of show their bodies off too.
Right. I don't understand what I'm still getting to the point of him being crude. But again, you guys hear how he's actually speaking to a machine. This is the point that I'm trying to point out to you.
He's angry about it too.
Right. He is literally talking to this. He refers to this machine as you. You remember that part in I Spy with Will Smith when the robot says, "I'm glad you spoke to me. I'm glad you said that. You called me him instead of a it." That's the line Angry Man just crossed. Y'all listen to how he speaks to this machine, this computer program.
Yeah, but why we can't hear what the AI is saying back?
A photo might be revealing.
This is the AI talking to him.
Oh, okay. Now, so this is the male AI. Okay.
Yeah, this is the male AI talking to him now.
All right.
Right, Zahara. He's literally talking to himself, and he does not realize that. He is literally arguing with himself.
Or even provocative, but that doesn't automatically make it crude. Crudeness comes from intent and execution. If someone posts a photo emphasizing their body, they're often expressing confidence, art, or just their vibe.
Pause. There you go again with more woke crap.
How can a fucking machine be woke? There you will go again with more woke crap. He is now thinking that he is arguing with someone on a panel. Pause. There you go again with more of that woke crap. It's a machine, dummy.
You know what? I think what it is, I think that he's arguing with AI because if he was arguing with a real person, he probably ain't gonna like what they got to say.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
You're absolutely right. AI replaces the human element that he can't stand. He can't stand pushback, said.
He can't. That's
And it's
something
obvious. He can't stand to be wrong. It's all right to be wrong, folks. Everybody, every day of the week, you're going to say something, you're going to do something wrong. Hopefully, it's not detrimental to you in way, some financial or health way. You're going to give the wrong answer on a test that you might be taking. You're going to make a wrong turn when you're driving somewhere. There's nothing wrong with being wrong. But y'all listen to this guy here now. This is the angry man.
That's woke crap. There is a such thing as inappropriate. There's also a such thing as indecent exposure. Men are not allowed to do that. So save me the confident crap.
All right, let's keep it real. How about a thumbnail that says indecent exposure?
Pause. Not asking about a thumbnail. I'm asking why you continue to give me woke explanations.
Now, this part right here, folks, AI, this is the part that he should recognize that AI is facts driven. If someone has programmed AI to understand there was going to be some people like Angryman. Now, listen to how AI responds to him.
My bad. I misread your vibe and leaned into explanations that sounded preachy. I hear you loud and clear. You want straight talk, no fluff. I was trying to unpack the logic of comments matching the tone of a photo, but I get that you see it as excusing inappropriate posts. If a photo's indecent by your measure, like public exposure, you're saying it's fair game for raw comments since it's already crossing a line. I'm with you on wanting consistency. Why is it okay for one side to push boundaries, but not the other to react? Let's focus.
And that's a good question. That's coming from AI, Angry Man. And that's a good question that you would get from anyone. Why is it okay for you to push a boundary and someone not to push back on your idea? Well, I don't think that's inappropriate, Angry Man, because you say it is. That don't necessarily mean that I think it is. It doesn't necessarily mean that Sid think it is. It may not necessarily mean that HT Baldwin thinks it is. Just because you believe it's inappropriate, I don't give a fuck. And I'm sure that's how the women are feeling.
That goes to the point. Why do you care?
Why
what
do
is
you
it
care?
that's making him so upset about it that he cares?
I don't know. I haven't found an answer to that, Sid. I don't know.
AI won't call him a dumb fuck.
Right, that's the only thing. But you know, if you get one of them, somebody that to do like they do Siri, you keep driving with your punk ass. I'll lock up the brakes on you.
But the thing that a lot of people don't. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, sir.
No, I was just going to say, but the thing that a lot of people don't understand is that as time go on, AI is going to get smarter. AI is going to get a lot more hood. AI is going to get a lot more ghetto. But guess what? AI is still going to have all the facts.
It's still going to be. It may be hood facts, but it's still going to be facts.
It's going to be facts.
It may adapt. Someone may teach AI to speak the language that you're speaking or typing it into, and it may match that frequency. It's all about frequency. Energy. Right. It's going to match your energy because you're going to even hear the AI say, "Ooh, you're coming in hot." Here we go, folks. Listen.
You want me to hit when answering this? No sidestepping. Just the meat of it.
You see what I mean? It's ridiculous. We live in a day and age where we now have artificial intelligence. But the way artificial intelligence is programmed, it's programmed to be woke. It's programmed to be woke. So the irony of it is, if you're not a woke person, if you're on the right.
Okay, folks. y'all see right there on the screen what it says to be woke, well informed, up to date, alert to injustice in society, especially racism. So which part could AI be woke about? Said you want to try and tackle that?
I mean, AI is only doing what AI is programmed to do.
So someone would literally have to be a racist to program AI to be
Program
racist.
AI to be woke,
Okay.
be racist. Yes, exactly.
Okay, that's it.
But
Right.
like I was just saying, and I think that was the point I was trying to make. It's coming.
It's coming.
And you're gonna have AI that's gonna be on one side or the other. And it's gonna talk back to you the way you're talking to it.
I agree.
It's coming.
I agree. It's gonna match your energy. I agree. Because it seems like the AI is matching his energy now. Let's go.
You literally have to have the same debate with AI you would have with a person on the left. Explain to me how ridiculous is that? How ridiculous is that this is why when people say, oh, we got to be worried about AI because of the Terminators. Like, bro.
You watch too much. You watch too much movies, man. Arnold Schwarzenegger is not gonna come and find Sarah Connor. That's not gonna happen, folks. But are there killer robots already in existence? They already are.
Yes. And if you pay attention to the movies like The Matrix, they pretty much been hitting a lot of things as far as like AI and artificial intelligence on the head. In that movie that was made back in the 90s.
Absolutely. Tactical to Practical. There was a movie way back in the 70s called Soylent Green.
Yeah,
y'all go look that up and go see what that movie's about.
And it's a clip of Barry White. Barry White, back in the early 80s, was talking about AI as well.
He sure was.
Yeah, I seen that a while ago.
Absolutely, he was. Barry White was although he was a musician, folks, the man was quite intelligent. You need to go and look up some of his I call them roundtable discussions. Quite eye-opening for some of the conversations that he had.
You'll never see Terminators in your lifetime. Because human beings, the only way you would see a Terminator in your lifetime is if human beings actually programmed artificial intelligence without bias.
All human beings have bias, angry man. That's why AI comes into play. It removes the bias. All human beings have a bias about something.
Yeah, like he's showing that he got a bias against something right now.
What he calls to be inappropriate just. That's his bias. That's what we're talking about. That's one of his biases, is it not?
That's the only way. Like the way they're programming artificial intelligence, they're putting all kinds of woke, biased bullshit in it. Shout out to Dark Power. Appreciate you. Shout out to Miles, said women stay gaslighting and dudes be falling for it. But that is what is annoying to me, right?
So again,
what is annoying to me?
So only women put in AI information. It's only women, because by that comment he just said women be gaslighting. So only women use AI comments. Only women program AI. Isn't that what he's insinuating?
I don't know what the hell he insinuating.
Listen, like I said, I know it's going to be hard to comment on this because there's no real way to go. You cannot make logical sense of this. As Spock would say, it's totally illogical. Does not compute.
Is the premise that the only way a woman can show confidence is by dressing inappropriately. only way a woman can feel empowered is by engaging in behavior that doesn't serve her well? How much sense does that make? How much sense does that make? In fact, let's go back and forth with this AI a little more.
Here we go.
Let's
again.
go back and forth with this AI a little more.
Okay, what the fuck you want now?
I have a question for you about this whole dressing inappropriately thing.
Okay.
All right, fire away. What's your question about the whole dressing inappropriately issue?
Why would you say that a woman dressing inappropriately is just her displaying confidence?
I hear you, and I get why that framing might feel off. I wasn't saying every revealing outfit is automatically about confidence. It's more that some women choose those styles to express themselves, whether it's confidence, art, or just their vibe. But let's be real, not everyone sees it that way, and you're calling out what you see as inappropriate or crossing into indecent territory. The point I was trying to make is that the outfit doesn't give a free pass for crude comments, but I get how it can sound like I'm dodging the issue of what's inappropriate.
Right there, as you see on the screen right there, what he meant by crude comments is like what we call catcalling. You know, we had a construction site, bunch of men, we're on break, we see a lovely woman walking by. Ooh, look at that ass over there. Just because she's dressed like that, that doesn't necessarily give us the right to make comments. That's what AI is pointing out, angry man. Anybody agree or disagree with me? Say, you agree with me on that?
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly.
Right, using the catwalk, the cat call analogy, wouldn't that be fair?
Yeah, that's fair. And it goes back to the point I made earlier about how, you know, just because you may see something that you may want to look at a certain way, don't mean you have to say anything. You can just keep it to yourself.
Right. You keep it to yourself, whether it's a good comment or a bad comment. Just because you don't like the way somebody's dressed or you like the way that someone's dressed, that don't give you the right to speak on it. And that's what AI is pointing out to you, angry man. But you seem to be upset that you can't get AI to change their mind, change its mind.
And it's not. It's not even
not
real.
programmed. Right. It's not real. It's not programmed to change its mind. It's there to give you the facts. It's there not to debate with you. It's there to... Never mind. I know. Now
just imagine if AI didn't talk and he was having this conversation typing on the keyboard. He'd probably have a broke keyboard.
Right. And he wouldn't put it on the screen because he would be reading it, trying to solidify his point. Where his downfall was, we can literally hear AI tell him you're wrong.
Outfits, especially in public spaces.
Yeah, guess what? You said intent. It depends on intent. The road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yep.
You're spitting
this
facts.
Nigga is
Intent doesn't always
with AI. This nigga is arguing with AI, y'all. How dumb can you be? Oh, how smart do you really believe that you are to really think that you are winning this so-called debate with a computer program?
Justify the outcome. A woman might wear something revealing to feel bold or expressive, but if it's pushing boundaries like indecent exposure or comes off as provocative in a public space, it can still stir up reactions, fair or not. The good intentions argument falls flat when the result feels like a line's been crossed. So, what's your take? What makes a photo or outfit cross into inappropriate for you? And why should that shape how people respond?
My opinion is anything that you decide to wear in public, on public display, or to post on social media, you should realize that you are welcoming opinions, you are welcoming comments, you are welcoming all of that because you decided to put it on public display.
Got it. You're saying if someone puts themselves out there, especially especially in revealing clothes on social media, they're opening the door to all kinds of feedback, good or bad. So, what's the specific question you've got about this? Want to dig into why people react the way they do, or something else?
My question is, why is it you, as an AI software, seem to be biased and leaning left and...
See there again, he keeps referring to this machine as you.
You, the AI software.
Why are you?
You can't make this shit up.
No, I can't. That's why I'm playing it, because I could not in a million years write a script like this, folks. There's absolutely no fucking way that I could make this. They'd like to use Kevin Samuels. You can't make this shit up. You can't.
You can't. He literally said, "You, the AI software,"
and then through, why are you being biased? AI has no biases, Angry Man. It's not human. It has no preconceived notion about what you're about to ask it. It doesn't see you. It doesn't feel you. It doesn't smell you. It is an inanimate object that will not do anything until you activate it.
Yeah, but I can kind of hear the tension in the AI's voice, because he's like, man, why am I sitting up here arguing with this idiot?
Listen, how dumb do you got to be to piss off AI?
Progressive, instead of giving me unbiased answers.
I hear your frustration, and I'm sorry if my responses came off as leaning one way. My aim is to stick to the facts and reason through things without pushing an agenda, but I can see how my earlier takes might have sounded progressive, especially with a focus on agency and respect. Your view is clear.
So I have a question for you, since you feel that way. Since the feminist movement was first started, and many of the points that they were making in the
a feminist, any person who believes in social, political, and economic equality of all genders, regardless of race, ethnicity, what is that? Social, economic status,
class, religion, ability, and sexual orientation.
So, would you say that you and I are feminists, and according to that definition?
I wouldn't say that.
Meaning?
Well, I'm not a feminist, so
right.
I couldn't say that.
It said any person that believes in a social or political or economic equality. Do you not believe in those things, that everybody has a right to the way they want to live?
Everybody has a right to be what they want to be. I mean, whichever way you want to swing in life, that's fine. It don't bother me.
Right. So why would the AI be considered as a feminist?
I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out, why is he talking to AI like it's a real person?
He is talking to the AI like he talking to a real person. This is the gist of this entire thing. This is the nigga y'all following.
Yeah, I don't think he got a lot of friends outside of YouTube, bro.
He ain't got no friends outside of YouTube. I'm gonna show you that in a little bit. We're gonna continue.
The feminist movement was that they did not like to be objectified or viewed as a sexual object. Don't you think that it's counterintuitive or counteractive to the feminist movement for women in the modern age to be objectifying themselves?
All right, let's dive into this. You're asking if women posting revealing photos on social media, essentially highlighting...
Don't reframe my question. Answer it exactly the way I just asked you. Do you believe that women who are objectifying themselves and over-sexualizing themselves counters the feminist movement and everything it stands for?
Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
The AI is flustered. Y'all heard that?
Yeah. I was saying that.
Yeah. The AI is flustered. Angryman, you see? Right. That's what what the AI is saying. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So it actually, somebody's programmed the AI to adjust itself to ignorance. Yeah.
The AI probably thinking like I think. Don't argue with idiots.
Yeah.
Because the AI is saying, look, I can't win. You can't win arguing with
You can't win. Right. You can't win.
Just like he can't win arguing with AI.
You can't. How? How?
If feminism's core was about rejecting objectification and being seen as more than sexual objects, then women posting hypersexualized content on social media can seem like it's working against that. It's like...
Exactly. Checkmate, bitch.
This nigga just called them.
Oh, you're coming in hot.
That was AI's response to him. He didn't want to go any further. He cut AI off right there because AI was actually about to get in that ass. Now, you're an idiot, Angry Man. That's just bottom line to it. You called a machine
idiot
a bitch. You literally called the machine a bitch. So that tells me, literally called AI a bitch. Like you are speaking to a person. Checkmate, bitch. Checkmate, bitch. Can you believe that? I thought I saw DJ Torch step in here for a minute. Hey there, Torch, how you doing?
That's right. That's right. To all you ladies that think you can beat me in a debate, a fucking AI computer can't even beat me in a debate.
Angry Man, do you see what that woman is holding on the screen right there? Artificial intelligence is not a suitable substitute for human intelligence. Read the rest for me, say, because I can't see it.
It is a tool to amplify human creativity and ingenuity. Something that I don't think that he would ever understand or comprehend.
Can you believe that shit right there? Can you believe that this man literally believes in his heart of hearts that he was just speaking to another human being? Use biases. Those are things that you say to another person, not to a machine. Artificial intelligence, Angry Man, is not a suitable substitute for human intelligence. I think the main reason is because it lacks emotion.
A AI software can't even beat me in a debate.
Nasty. This is what I'm talking about here, folks. That's why I covered up shit. I don't want y'all to see shit like that. Blowing up on the screen in front of folks. How nasty can you be? Right. Hey, Shaw, I was about to say, but I didn't want to steal my man's talk. DJ Torch in the house. That's absolutely it. Slob is worse than worse. Slob is too good a name
too
for
good
him.
of a word for him, man.
That's too good there.
That's too good. You gotta go a little bit lower than that.
Uncouth, just total uncouthness. And to think that he really believes that him and his supporters said that Angry Man kicked AI's ass.
Yeah, I seen somebody post that in the comment that came up, and they just as dumb as his ass is if they really believe that.
Got to be. You that dumb to believe that Angry Man kicked AI's ass? You dumber than Angry Man. You'll fall for anything. I got some swampland I'm gonna say you.
You know, it would have been funny as hell if the AI would have challenged him to math. All right, you think I'm dumb? You think I'm a dumb bitch? Let's do these equations then.
Right. What's 2 + 2?
2.
Let's continue here.
Venus said even AI thought knew you was wrong. How did it know I was wrong if it
did know you was wrong? Now, one of his supporters finally stepped up and said, even AI knew you was wrong. And how do I know that's one of his supporters? Because that's the only way that you can talk in Angry Man's chat room. You have to subscribe to his channel or be a supporter of his channel. So that's somebody in his camp telling him he's wrong.
Yeah, they probably got banned right after that.
I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did.
If it said I was correct.
Is that him sniffing?
Yeah, that's him smoking on a cigar.
That's Grok.
Oh, okay.
That's Grok 3.
Hello?
Babe, let me ask you a question.
Now, this nigga went from arguing with AI to calling up his wife or girlfriend, however you want to call her, to talk about this shit, yo.
Yeah. I'm on this live stream talking about this situation, right?
What situation?
There's a woman complaining about some dude giving her a compliment about her butt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you say to me that in the 90s, it wasn't popular to have a big booty the way it is now?
Yeah.
And the lie detector said that was a lie.
That's a lie. And
That
what
is a
90s
lie.
he talking about? He talking about 1890s?
I don't know.
He got to be talking about the 1890s because the 1990s, you had a big. If a woman had a big butt, all of us was looking.
Okay.
We all had
Everybody.
that one friend. We all had that one friend who mama had the big booty, and we all looked at his mama.
Okay. Oh, yeah, mama. That's your mama? Oh, my bad. But again, this is no disrespect to the sisters, but the sisters has always had the, as they say, the Coke bottle frame from the days of the blaxploitation era movies, 70s, all the way up to Good Times, all the way up to Real Housewives of Atlanta. Every woman on that show got some kind of ass. But even in the 80s, even though they wasn't talking about the voluptuous booty, in the 80s, what was everybody was talking about? Let's get physical. Let's get to the buns of steel. I'm gonna show you.
Late 80s, Sir Mix-a-Lot. Big butts. I like big butts, and I can't not lie.
Right. Okay. And that was a protest song to all the folks thinking that every woman had a small butt. The Jane Fonda, the what do you call that? The Olivia Newton-John butt. That was a protest song.
Booties.
Right. The buns of steel.
The flat in the front.
Say that again. Right. Say that again, DJ Torch. Belle Biv DeVoe. Never trust a big butt and a smile. Come on now. So, Miss Lady, I don't know where you was at in the 90s. I like big butts in the 90s.
But hold on, didn't somebody say that his wife or whoever that is wasn't black?
And she's not.
Okay, so 9 times out of 10, she probably don't have a big butt neither.
Yeah, I ain't trying to say.
I ain't say she didn't have a wide butt.
I was about to say it. I was visualizing that myself.
Because you could be wide and be flat.
Right. I'm just saying, a big butt works both ways. It could be out or it could be up. Still could be flat.
You can be flat and still wide now.
Okay.
What you down there talking about? You down there talking about a booty?
Yeah, I'm talking about booties.
Why are you talking about booties?
Because it's the topic of the show.
She had nothing but booty. The topic of the show was booties. No, it wasn't.
Nah.
The topic of the show was entrapment or expression.
Right.
So
He didn't talk about neither one of those.
Neither one of them. So where did the booty come in at? I never seen pictures of her, but that's what I've heard though, Black Hawk.
Angry Man wife is big all over.
Right.
He's a big girl.
She a big girl.
Yeah, she probably eat them chitlins and collard greens too now.
A whole lot more.
Mm-hmm. Just like him.
Seafood.
They both round all over.
Seafood. See it, she eat it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
and then she even offended by that.
In the days.
Okay. Now the reason why I put this up here is said, do you remember the young lady by Melissa Ford? Wasn't she out in the 80s and the 90s?
Yeah.
Did Melissa Ford have a right? Did she have a big butt or not?
Well, not by today's standard, but it was nice.
But by those standards back in the day, she had ass,
she
right?
Had nice little, nice
right,
ass on her.
Right. Black tail, they had ass, right? What was that? Black Men's Magazine or whatever? Jet Magazine. Some of the girls in there
always showed the booty shot.
Booty.
You had some that went from they did that frontal, but you had a lot of them that did that 3/4 sideways.
That sideways pose.
Yeah.
Okay. So, ma'am, I don't know what you're talking about. Booty's always been popular in our neighborhoods.
Well, she's confused because I think she's just trying to figure out why she even talking about that, because you heard it in her voice. Like, why are you even talking about
right. This is what you called me for, nigga? Booty.
Like all the stuff you call for, and this is what you got to talk about?
Right. Instead of coming to get some booty, you called me to talk about it.
Right.
Nigga,
that's what he should be focused on.
Okay. Don't be calling me about booty. Come get it.
You probably got to pop one of those Bluetooths or something before you go over there.
It ain't started working yet. It ain't started working yet.
I don't think it work at all because he's too frustrated.
Listen, the nigga he be streaming too much to talk about he getting some action up in the boudoir.
Yeah, he could be because sex calm a lot of people down.
Sure do.
It really do. And sex will make you not angry.
Shit.
Especially good sex.
I ain't got nothing to be mad after a good session.
Right.
I ain't got shit to be mad at. I ain't mad at nothing. Somebody just blew up my car. Okay.
Wait a minute. Yeah. Did you say the 90s? Are you down there telling my age and my business?
Oh my God. Can you please say what you told me? Because I can't remember it accurately.
Now, Shed, you remember this young lady right here?
Lisa, yes.
Did she not have a butt?
Oh yeah.
So what the hell is this?
She shook it all over the stage too.
All over the stage. Although she wore some loose-fitting clothes, you can tell Lisa, no disrespect, ladies, but you can tell Lisa had ass, and it wasn't flat.
Yeah, and she had that fitness. She had that fitness ass too. She just like she was always working out.
She sure did. So what you talking about, Miss Lady? I think from the sound of your voice, not being disrespectful, I think this is more the type lady that you're talking about versus a black woman. You sound to be of that Puerto Rican or Latino descent. Would that be a fair assessment of her voice, Sid?
I could say Latino. She's definitely not white.
Right.
But at the same time, she's also irritated.
I
don't know, because the way she sounds like she finna go in on him. So I'm like kind of on her side right now.
Yeah, let's go. Let's find out.
About what, having a big butt?
Yeah. Because
that's why I used to wear like long shirts and stuff like that and try to wear like baggy clothes and stuff. Because it was mostly like my aunts and them, on the other side of the family.
Other women, right?
What other side of the family? You mean the black side of your family? They was trying to tell you to pull your shirt down because not everybody, because men gonna be out there. You know you got a big butt, so the men gonna be looking at it. So pull your shirt down, pull your frock down. We go out there with all your business out in the street.
No dressing in baggy clothes is probably inappropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't hide a big booty. I don't care what you try and cover it up with. You cannot hide a big booty.
Yeah.
Because what I'm basically trying to explain to them, which is really goofy, I said it wasn't until I said before, like in the 90s, that wasn't the main thing for women. I said it wasn't until J-Lo and then Kim Kardashian that all of a sudden everybody's like, okay, it's cool to have a big booty now.
Mm-hmm.
The lie detector said you're wrong about that too.
The lie detector said that's a goddamn lie.
Goddamn lie.
Goddamn lie.
Stop it. Stop it. Long before J-Lo came around, folks was talking about big butts. I guess I guess he forgot who Selena was, huh? You ever seen Selena on stage? Rest her soul.
Oh yeah.
Selena got junk in the trunk.
She had a lot of junk in the trunk.
Okay.
But I can even go further back than that. Pam Grier.
Junk in the trunk.
Junk in the trunk.
And
this was in the 70s.
Okay. Beverly Johnson. Junk in the trunk. Miss Trinidad. Junk in the trunk. I'm trying to think of some more. Rosie Rosie had a junk. Yeah, she had junk in the trunk. She sure did. Now that I'm thinking back to her coming down the Soul Train line.
Look. Hers was perfectly rounded though.
What?
So when she made that movie White You Can't Jump, that wasn't only basketball that we was looking at.
It sure wasn't. You remember the scene where she was getting ready to run out the Stookie Brothers came and she was in the putting her jeans on. How many times did you replay that?
Yeah, that's an unforgettable scene right there.
Okay. I know, folks. We reminiscing, but all this is just to prove all of this just to prove a point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where maybe she was ashamed of her booty.
Maybe. And that's how
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
And I'm quite sure she definitely ashamed of his, because I don't see how she could look at him and be like, oh, he is just so sexy.
No, he got that he got that furniture disease, said. His chest done fell down to his drawers.
Oh, you need a bra?
Yeah, you need a bra.
Yeah, you need
I ain't the only one that said that. They said they said them big guys, his hands be resting on his stomach.
Yeah, probably steering wheel too, if he drive. Hey, turn it up. Okay, let me lean a little bit.
Hey, that APTV, how you doing, good brother? Yeah, Angela Bassett had booty too. She sure did. The list goes on. You remember Janet Jackson in the what was that when she was kicking the chair over video? The black jeans.
Yeah, that was the Control video.
Yeah, Janet Jackson had booty, didn't she?
Yeah, she still do.
The list goes on of the videos that we could watch, folks, that the women was proudly showing their posterior anatomy. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful when I'm saying that. I'm going to saying this and just the opposite of what Angryman and his chick is talking about right now. Booty was in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, it was in the 70s.
In the 70s. Sergio Valente jeans, Guess jeans. All those was designed for what? Booty. Let's go.
And you got people in here trying to, got a couple people trying to disagree with me. And I'm like, no.
So y'all tell me this woman right here, Layla Rashawn, did not have booty?
Well, I believe she got sunshine, for real. I believe she got sunshine.
You remember her in Boomerang when she came in the house and he took what? Angryman, what are you and your chick looking at? What video are y'all watching? Reruns of Romper Room or something like that? Can't be talking about women that was ashamed of their booties in the 1980s and 90s. Yeah, Sarah Bartram. I couldn't think of her name either.
Yeah, Bartman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back in the day, even though there were guys that liked women with big booties or whatever, and even though there were women who had big booties, that wasn't the main thing that women highlighted every time they.
Wait a minute, folks. That picture right there that's about to go away, that's a picture from the 1980s, 1983 to be exact. I forgot the lady's name.
Is that
But what?
Baywatch?
Not. I think that might be a Baywatch chick. But what is she highlighting in that picture, y'all? Her booty.
Took a picture. I said, if you go back and look at photo albums, you're not going to see a bunch of pictures of women taking pictures of their butt.
Here we go back again, back to the 1980s there, folks, all the way back to the 1980s. Buns of Steel. Remember the song? Again, we mentioned it earlier, but I like big butts. Sir Mix-a-Lot?
Yeah, I just said that. Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Right. This is why he came up with that song, because during the 80s, this was supposed to be the beauty standard. The Jane Fonda, the slim and trim, that kind of booty. The little small booty, the little rounded, dare I use the word, no disrespect, white girl booty. And Sir Mix-a-Lot said, that ain't it. Not unless she, what? Angry man. So what is you and your lady friend talking about? Even Pamela Anderson, when she was running around down the Baywatch, had booty.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that was just weird.
It opens up the kennel and the dogs is.
Or, I mean, there's supervillains out there.
Notice how she was like, I'm tired of talking about booty. Let me change the subject. Now they went on from here to talking about Tory Lanez. Here we go again.
Like, duty support.
Again, folks, for all of you that's coming in, thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. You don't have to hit the Cash App if you don't want to. It's not necessary. A like and a share go a long way there, folks. I appreciate that. That's all I need from you. But anyway, there, folks, you have to think about this now. You call your wife up doing a live stream, or your girlfriend, wherever she is. You're talking about booty. Now she changed the subject to talking about Tory Lanez. Has nothing to do with the title of the stream yet. This went on for almost 3 hours.
Woody did the Cuddy dog. You had his dog locked up in the bathroom or some shit. Like, how you break in somebody's house and lock their dogs up in the bathroom? And
Easy.
Dog is traumatized.
Easy. You don't know what to do. Somebody have a dog. All you need is like a pack of hot dogs.
No, I'm not breaking into anybody's house. Why would I need to know?
All you need is a pack of hot dogs. That's all you need.
Like, why?
Hey, said, you see that dog? You see that dog on the screen right there, that Cane Corso?
Yeah.
If I came into the house with a pack of hot dogs, what you think what else would be eaten up along with the hot dogs?
Your leg. Them Cane Corsos ain't no as he phrased it, bitch dogs.
No, they ain't no bitch dogs.
Hard.
You're not breaking
they
it.
Go hard.
No, you're not. Right. You're not coming into nobody's house with a trained Cane Corso that's trained to guard that house and think you're going to throw some hot dogs on the floor and be able to lock that dog in the bathroom. First of all, the Cane Corso is not even going to eat them hot dogs. A good Doberman Pinscher is not going to eat them hot dogs.
Nah.
A good German Shepherd is not going to eat them hot dogs. A good Pit Bull is not going to eat them hot dogs. But it will eat your ass up. But he tough.
How do you know that? You know what?
All you need is a pack of hot dogs, maybe some summer sausage.
I'm gonna call your mama.
Call her.
Yeah.
Call her.
Call her.
Call
Come
her.
on, you really thought this out. Why wouldn't I think that out?
As you see here on
Shout
the
out
screen,
to
ladies
Tim,
and gentlemen,
dog.
listen
He
to
said
this
you
part.
blew my mind with that video last night, AM.
How?
Oh yeah.
How?
Yes, indeed. Hey.
Y'all see on the screen here. I'm not subscribed to his channel, as you can see. But as you go over and when you type his name and you go to his channel and you click on it, this is what you'll see. A whole bunch of streams, him talking about women. Nothing but women. What's wrong with women? How come you do this, woman? Why you did that, black woman? This is his channel, folks. This is what he consists of. A dumbass nigga that talks about women and argues with AI. Look.
Bro, my mind was blown right along with you. Like, that was one of the moments. That wasn't something that, I had thought of before and then presented to you guys. Like, I had the epiphany in real time. I had the epiphany in real time. You feel me?
Absolutely right, Black Hawk. Look, there you go.
So, for those of you that don't know what the triple imposter is, right?
Say it. Have you ever heard of that? I'm glad you came in because you are a cartoonist and you do things like that. Have you ever heard of the triple imposter before? Did I lose you, Sid? I'll wait till he comes back. He's on mute.
Let's see if I can give you the...
You're now tuned in. You are now tuned in.
That right there, folks, is the triple imposter. One of those two things that you see on the screen right there is the triple imposter. I'm not sure which one, but it has something to do with Marvel Comics. Nothing is original about this guy. Nothing. What he does, he goes back far enough into history and try and find something that's so obscure that he thinks that nobody will find it. But clearly, one of these two things represents what he's talking about right now. Let's go.
I'd give you 20 dudes versus a gorilla. And I'm not talking about hunter-gatherer like we've started building tools. No, I'm talking about we're still at that stage where we're not even really talking and communicating like that. If you go back to that primal caveman mentality, I'll give you 10 human beings versus a gorilla.
10 human beings against a gorilla will not stand a chance. They wouldn't survive the first 5 minutes of a gorilla whooping their ass. Number one, they'd probably get their arms pulled off, their legs severed, their neck pulled off, their head pulled off or something. Do you know the force, the PSI of a gorilla when it swings at you?
Not only that, but they got the strength of like 10 men by themselves.
By themselves.
So just imagine you fighting a gorilla and the gorilla grab your ankles and start whipping you around like the Hulk was doing Loki.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that. Just whipping the shit, slamming him all over the place, one.
Right.
Like a rag doll. But look,
and then you got to think, even if you punch the gorilla, is the gorilla really going to feel it?
No.
You would have to hit that gorilla really, 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 really hard. Like you would have to have on concrete gloves or something.
You and I could not hit a gorilla hard enough to even make it flinch, Sid.
Right. But he can.
Yeah, of course he can. And listen.
Yeah, he can. He can do it.
Right here, what he's doing is he's trying to equate the hunter-gatherer folks to a modern-day gorilla. See, Angry Man, I like to think that I'm a little bit smarter than you sometimes. I'd like to think that because, matter of fact, I don't have to think that. I know I am. And I understand that sometimes that location and area and locality means a whole lot. So the gorilla of today would not be the gorilla that the hunter-gatherer would be up against.
Right.
I'll show you in just a minute.
And even then, the gorillas back then was probably a lot bigger then.
Twice the size of the modern gorilla.
You know, speaking of that, I just remembered this. I was flicking through reels one day, and it was a reel where it was a bunch of people, you know, in the grass, and a gorilla walked by, and one of the guys was in the way, and the gorilla like literally climbing up the hill, grabbed the dude's ankle and slid him out the way and kept going, like it was nothing.
Like it was nothing to it, right?
Like it was nothing.
I saw something. There was I guess one of these documentaries where they were following the mountain gorillas, and one of the mountain gorillas came up to one of the folks that was filming, and he just barely pushed him, and the guy flew like back 5 feet, and it was just a light touch from the gorilla. So imagine if the gorilla had intents of hurting him.
Yeah, that's crazy because when I was living in Ohio, I was there at that time when the little boy fell into the cage and they ended up killing the gorilla because they thought the gorilla was gonna hurt him.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I remember that. And the gorilla.
Just imagine.
I can't. I don't see how anybody in their right mind would say that 10 men could beat a gorilla at any age. But let's continue because, again, he's trying to say if they were the hunter-gatherer type men, not the men of the day, yeah, they had a fighting chance. But again, Angry Man, the modern gorilla is not who these folks that would be up against, okay? They would be against something like this.
And the only reason is because they not going to be as shook as the rest of you motherfuckers. They're not going to be as shook as the rest of them. And even then, they would need sticks and rocks and shit like that. They would need something to subdue the gorilla. They wouldn't be able to do it with just their physical force. They wouldn't be able to do it with just that.
Okay, folks. Y'all see that on the screen right there? That's what those hunter-gatherers would have been up against. That guy. Angry Man. That guy. Let's go back.
Yeah, you should go back to the picture that you had.
Like that. If you go back to that primal caveman mentality, I'll give you 10 human beings versus a gorilla. And the only reason is because they not going to be as shook as the rest of you motherfuckers. They're not going to be as shook as the rest of them. And even then, they would need sticks and rocks and shit like that. They would need something to
Angry Man, that's along with that picture that I stopped on earlier, that's what they would be up against. Those hunter-gatherers would be up against, I'm going to make an attempt to say this, Gigantopithecus.
Yeah. Angrymanticus.
Right.
That's what we look like. That's Angry Man right there.
Jay Prince. Jay Prince. on YouTube. I always laugh at this when someone says that. He said, I went to the zoo in Milwaukee, y'all. Me and my daughter walking around, and we went over to the gorilla exhibit, and I looked at one of the cages, and I said, hey, Angry Man, what you doing in there? But Angry Man, that's who those guys would have been up against. Modern men would have been up against a gorilla of a silverback. They would not win. Now, with sticks, guns, knives, and a concerted effort, could they take the gorilla out? Of course. But in a fair fight in an arena where the gorilla is guaranteed to do no harm, to not be use no sticks or no weapons against, you don't stand a chance. Don't stand a chance. A gorilla could literally lift up a damn bus or a car. What makes you think he can't toss you from one side of the jungle to the other?
And then you got to think about the fear factor that, them people would have had to have even back then. That you got this big ass gorilla coming at you, and you ain't scared. Some of the people probably pissed their pants or pissed their whatever they had on.
That's why they lived in caves. A lot of them. Them big ass animals that they had to contend against. Up against. Listen, folks. Them people ain't always had spears and knives and shit.
No, and back then people was just as much game for food as buffalo.
Damn sure was.
They got ate.
They got ate just like anything else.
Do the gorilla. They wouldn't be able to do it with just their physical force. They wouldn't be able to do it with just that.
They are efficient at utilizing oxygen and are capable of sustaining contractions over extended periods without fatigue. This is why humans often need specialized training and conditioning to build strength and maximize their performance in strength-related activities.
Is they basically traded in their black husband or the prospect of a black husband for a marriage to the state.
All right, here we go again, folks. I know I try not to take this about past 2 hours, but unfortunately, here we go again. We went from booty. First we went from arguing with AI, the booty, to getting beat up by gorillas. Now we're going into this shit. Here we go.
Okay, so I mean, what kind of transition was that?
I don't know, man. You're asking me.
like he didn't even say, okay, well, we're gonna put this subject to rest. Let's move on to the next subject. He related it to the gorilla.
How?
Artificial idiocy. I'm trying to tell you.
Right. Y'all would think that this came from a couple different streams, right? No, it didn't. I just skipped around this stream that he did. What did he say he was gonna call it? He had an epiphany about it. Entrapment or
dude, I totally forgot. At this point, what difference does it make? What difference does it really make?
I don't
even think he know what the fuck he talking about. He just rambling what's going on in his angry mind or some shit. I don't know.
Angry man. That's why they call him the Angry Bird. Angry Bird shit anywhere, don't they? They don't care. Here we go. Y'all ladies, y'all see, this is all your fault. And he about to tell you why.
So everything that they usually depended on black men for, they began to depend on the state for these things, right? So instead of having a husband to put food on the table, they depended on the state to put food on the table.
Y'all heard that? See? You agree with
all
that?
Right.
Yeah.
Let me correct him on something.
Go ahead.
All right. So
I'm tired of trying. Go ahead. Your shot.
The one thing that the government did back then was they tried to break up the black family. So what they did was they gave these mothers welfare, gave them apartments, and told them, your husband cannot live in those apartments with you, or you won't have a place to stay, or you won't get this government assistance. Which means that the husband and the man had to be out the family and out the way for these women to get the stuff. You know what I'm saying? And that's true. Now, did it work out that way a lot? No, because you did have fathers that was with their families, but the whole purpose was to break up the family. It wasn't because they just said, okay, well, we just going to give you a lot of money and let you depend on us. That's not what it was.
I said I will agree with you that part of what they were saying, you're absolutely right. It was intended to break up the family, and also there was unintended consequences to shit like that. It is, but I don't think that's how he's describing it.
No, he's describing it wrong. He's making it seem like these women just got dependent on the government, and it just happened. It didn't just happen.
It just didn't happen. First of all, you had a choice. Either you could continue for your wife and your child to be on welfare, or get your black ass up and go to work somewhere. Now, what is a woman to do? In some cases, it's unintended circumstances. The man may be incapacitated, he may be sick, he might have fallen off, he might have a mental illness. All of those are understandable. But for a healthy, able-bodied man, that's what the law was intended for. And unfortunately, a whole lot of folks got caught up in the part of it to where it was being used as a tool to, in some cases, disrupt the black family.
Right. But you know what happens when they do stuff intended to hurt one group of people? It ends up hurting everybody, because
everyone.
What he don't seem to understand is that the majority of people that get those benefits are
whites. Thank you very much. And that's the whole thing that I'm saying. They act like it was black. It's the black women, but the majority of what they're saying about, hey, Mahogany Roots, how you doing? Good to see you. Happy Friday to you. But as they try to say, black women are the majority of the welfare recipients. They're not.
And that's not true. That's not true.
That's not true.
That's why when you look around and you see all these white people pissed off at Trump now, it's because those are the people that get the Section 8, the Social Security.
That's right.
The food stamps.
That's right.
And they don't know where they're going to get their food from. They don't know where they're going to pay their rent.
And the majority of them are living in red states.
Red states.
Angry man. It's not the black women putting the black man out the home. That wasn't it. Some of them niggas needed to be put out of the home. Nothing wrong with you. Get your ass up and go to work. But let's let him talk some more. Sid, you want to say something? Go ahead.
Yeah, and I was just going to say something else. And another way he's wrong, it's a lot of black women that's getting that bag. Like, there's a lot of sisters out here getting that money.
Wait, did you see this clip before?
No.
Okay. It's funny you should say that, because he's going to talk about that in just a second.
Instead of having a husband to protect them, they depended on the state to protect them through, the police force, things of that nature, right? And for a while, this was good, I guess, right? Now, in addition to that, not only did lower income black women get a benefit from the state, but with the emergence of the feminist movement, which was another instance where black women basically gave brothers the proverbial middle finger and said, forget you, we're going to forget about the civil rights movement, we're going to forget about the pro-black movement, we're going to attach ourselves to the feminist movement, which, for all intents and purposes, was basically a white woman's movement, where they were basically complaining about things that they experienced.
Well, y'all see that picture right there? That looks like a melting pot of women to me. That's in the 60s. Now again, just with anything, some things that's invented goes awry, and it starts out with good intentions, but some things do go bad. Now, is there some things about the so-called, with my proverbial fingers up, in quotation marks, the feminist movement? Did it do some damage? Of course it did. course it did. Women will readily admit that. Some women has taken the feminist movement too far. It's taken it from out of its meaning, just like a lot of men have. The feminist movement has ruined what social progress. Is it not okay for women to vote? Is it not okay for a woman to make the same amount of money as her counterpart if they're doing the same job? Because that's what the feminist movement was spawned from.
Yeah, and not
Equal
only
rights.
that, but that movement was also tied in with the civil rights movement, because as blacks began getting civil rights, so did women.
So did women.
It wasn't just black women, it was white women that couldn't vote.
Exactly.
White women could not vote before the civil rights movement.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely could not. As a matter of fact, women could not write checks before the 70s. Had to have their husband's permission. I think it was like 74, 75 before women could actually go into a bank and write a check without their husband being present. That's what the feminist movement was born from, Angry Man. Not black women putting niggas out the house, giving you the proverbial middle finger because they wanted to stay on welfare.
Experience in their culture that literally had nothing to do with black women and what black women experienced in their culture. But nevertheless, they attached themselves to that. One of the benefits.
Again, it's just the opposite. You just said it. It wasn't that the feminist movement, the civil rights movement, and black women attached themselves to the feminist movement. It was the opposite way around, Angry Man. The feminist movement attached itself to the civil rights movement. Am I correct, Sid?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, but I gotta say this before you switch out. You know that's a dude right there, right?
Right in the middle?
Yeah.
I didn't notice.
That's a whole dude.
That's a whole dude.
You see how the woman is looking at him?
Yeah, it's kind of like what you doing in the middle here?
Like, what you doing here?
Right.
But it goes back to the gay movement. I mean, everything that people have fought for and have rode the coattails of was because of the civil rights movement. It was because of that.
Right. And again,
stood up. It encouraged other people to stand up for their rights as well.
Absolutely it did. Absolutely it did. The winds of change came through civil rights movement. For a lot of folks, for a lot of ethnicities. They picked themselves up by the bootstrap. They said, hell, if black folks can march in the street for their rights, so can we. If they can get bit by them dogs, so can we. Angry Man.
So can he.
So a dog need to bite him in the ass. Like they'd be a dog catcher. Like to catch him.
You know, I'm wondering how old is this dude, because you know
he's in his 40s.
He couldn't be.
He's in his middle to late 40s, Sid.
He couldn't be.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
I think that dude in his 30s, but he looked like he's in his late 40s.
No, he's in
he
his
looked
40s.
like somebody's grandfather, for real.
Eee.
That's true.
Listen, again, this is your second time. That's not the only time I've heard that. He posted a picture on his timeline, on his community tab, and someone said he looked like an old dude to be 40-something. You look like somebody's grandfather to be 40-something.
Dude, I am 54 years old. And I look way better than him. If anybody's seen my picture, you know what I'm saying?
Well said. I've seen pictures of you. I wouldn't guess you to be that old. And
right.
no disrespect.
My black didn't crack, but his cracked a long time ago. And it's
cracked.
Cracked.
Black killed Applejack. He jumped in, but he couldn't jump back.
Man.
The fuck?
Was affirmative action. Now, I will admit that the biggest recipients of affirmative action, the same way the biggest recipients of DEI, which is just a new version of affirmative action, was mostly white women, right?
Don't forget white men, nigga.
And that's not surprising. There's actually more of them, right? But nevertheless, they were the main recipients.
Shame and blame.
So
no time to explain.
This marriage to the state benefited black women in numerous ways.
How?
If they were on the lower end of the socioeconomic ladder, they could go to social services and get all sorts of benefits, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they were educated,
mm-hmm.
they could go and get federal jobs.
Fuck going to college, huh? I guess if they were educated, if they went to school to become this and that, I guess they didn't get no student loans, huh? They didn't come out owing the government no money, Angry Man. They just gave these black women educations so they could work for the federal government. See it?
He's an idiot, man.
He's mildly.
He has no idea what he's talking about. The things that a lot of women, and I mean, yeah, you did have, and I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. I grew up in the projects of Chicago. I seen black women milk the system, but they were very few and far between. The majority of the people I knew had jobs. They went to work. You know, they paid taxes.
But according to him, and you're right, Sid. I mean, there are some welfare families that generation after generation, they thrive off welfare. But that's true on all aspects of these folks here in the United States. With every group, there's a group of white folks that from in Kentucky that's been living off welfare from generation to generations. There's some families maybe in Chicago, in Atlanta, or any urban city, as they call it, that have not broken the cycle of being dependent on welfare. That's a given. That's not an argument. That's a fair point.
Byproduct of the system.
That's exactly.
That's what that is.
Right. And that's a whole nother show that we could actually dive into why some folks choose that particular way of life instead of being, as they say, being amongst the underemployed and underinsured.
Right. But I wonder if he's going to have that same thought process with these Afrikaners, because that's what they brought them over here for.
He didn't.
He don't say nothing about them.
He hasn't. And this in any time in any of the times you've heard me that you've listened to him so far, said, name one time other than to say, well, I understand white women in this and this last little tidbit here. When has he mentioned the ills of white folks?
Oh, he's not going to do that. He probably have more white folks that's subscribed to him than black folks. He got some, but I think the majority of them is white people.
Yeah,
that agree with him.
Yeah. I could see that. I could see why you say that.
Yeah. Because I mean, why else would he be Sanborn?
In fact,
well, again, this is part of the right. This is right. This is part for the course for a lot of these black male content creators. They know the only way they could actually earn any money on YouTube is to fall in line and join the train of let's talk shit about black women. As I like to call it, the Tommy Sotomayor method of becoming rich and famous.
Or the shucking and jabbing for white folks. That's what they're doing.
Yeah. Clowning, Yasser Boston, all of them do it.
Everybody knows the federal government prior to Donald Trump's second term, the federal government was one of the largest employers in America. Now, I don't know the stats on it, but I'm willing to bet you that a large number of black women are federal employees.
And you're absolutely right. Even the sunshine on a dog ass, Angry Man. That's why it goes to show you. And your zeal to shit on black women, you just brought a point home that this country is ran by black women from the top damn near to the bottom.
That's right. When you think about the 2020 election, what delivered the presidency for Biden? Okay. Black women.
Okay.
Hands
What
down.
what changed Georgia from a blue state, a red state, to damn near a purple blue state? Black women. Got a black woman on the Supreme Court. It's going to be there until what? The day she passes on or can't do it no more. So what are you talking about, Angry Man? The only reason we now talk about black women getting fired from their federal jobs because it had affected the supervisors too, the white supervisors.
It's raining a fucking again here in Georgia.
Hold on.
How do I know this? Every time I go to the post office, I see plenty of black women working there. When I go down to the courthouse, I see plenty of black women working there. I see black women as clerks. I see black women as stenographers. I see black women as in many roles in government, right? You go to the DMV, you see black women. Like anywhere where there's basically federal funds, you will find black women being employed there. And look, I get it. It's job security, right? But it is yet another instance that shows how many black women have chosen the state to be their husband instead of black men.
So
can we stop this?
Yeah. So go ahead, Sid. I'll give you first crack at it. Go ahead.
He's contradicting himself like a man.
All over the place.
All over the place. 1 minute you crying about black women getting benefits, but then when the black women go work for the government, and she's doing actual work that the government is saying, okay, this is what we need done. She's actually doing the work.
It's like leaving your house for an 8-hour-a-day job is welfare to this guy. That's what he's saying. So by black women, by y'all going to work for the federal government, that is not a job. That is welfare. Say it, go ahead.
You know, I want to know, besides YouTube, which, let me say this. You know, if you're on YouTube and you're not employed, you can get food stamps. You can get welfare.
Mm-hmm.
You can get Social Security.
Mm-hmm.
You can get all these things.
Mm-hmm.
He got an Afro-Latino wife.
She lives in Section 8, man.
You getting Section 8?
That's the rumor. Well, it ain't a rumor, but I think if I had time, I could go pull up a clip where somebody shows evidence that the house that he's living in is government subsidized.
I didn't know all this. Like I said, I don't follow this dude. I only react when you put me on here and you talking about him. I react to it. So my reaction is I don't know nothing. I'm just picking up everything.
Right. It's authentic because you don't know this dude. It's unbiased because you don't know him. You only reacting to this is only the second time that I've talked to you about this dude.
But this dude is uneducated, uninformed.
A lot of folks say that.
Yeah, he's probably unintentional because from what you was telling me about his dad.
Unintentional. Oops. You what?
His dad probably tried to get as far away from him as possible.
Right? It's just a reality.
So basically, what he just said,
but everywhere
that black women chose the welfare state over getting married to black men or getting married, period.
And that's not true. Because I know a lot of black women that I have seen as I was growing up that worked for the government and was happily married.
Happily
had a
married.
husband, the house, the kids. You know what I'm saying? The American dream.
Happily married, living the life.
Yeah,
Life,
you
liberty.
call them the power couples. Them was the couples that was in church that always had the Cadillac. Kids
Okay.
always dressed nice.
Mr. and Miss Green.
Right.
Look, where there were federal employees, there's always been black women working there, right? Moving forward to my era, right? Even back then in the 60s, going into the 70s, we didn't see the full effects of black women's marriage to the state. We didn't see the full effects of it. It isn't until you get to my era that you finally start to see the full effects. Part of the reason why you see the full effects in my era is because my era is the crack era.
And Angryman, who sold crack to these so-called women? That's why I put the New Jack City up there first. Y'all thought that was the shit to be. Nino Brown. CMB. You all we got. Now we got President Trump talking about who's that guy that he wants to commute his sentence. What's his name?
Oh, Larry Hoover.
Larry Hoover.
Now, this is the thing with Larry Hoover.
Go ahead.
He's been locked up since I was born. I was a baby when he got locked up.
The 70s, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was born in 71. He got locked up in 72. He's been in prison ever since.
Yeah.
Reason why I say that is because, I'm not trying to talk about Chicago gangs, but my father was one of the original vice lords in the city of Chicago. He was one of the first 13. And they all knew each other, And when I say that they all had the same intentions, they was all trying to do this little Black Panther thing where they were trying to help the community. And when they seen it him, and I can't think of the dude that was in charge of the vice lords, but both of them got locked up. And they were saying that they was not going to let Hoover out because he was still running the gangs, and they still won't let him out. Mm-hmm. And what they don't understand is that the GDs that was running around when Hoover was running things, them guys is old and gone now.
And
it's the YNs that's running the streets now. Hoover ain't got no control over them.
Right. Again, Larry Hoover's got to be in his 70s, his early 70s, middle 70s
ain't
by
nothing
now.
That man can come out and say to anybody to make these boys, these little YNs do anything. Yeah. No, when I say YNs, I'm talking about the drill rappers. I'm talking about the people from the city of Chicago that, it was just a young lady that just got killed the other day. She was one of them drill rappers. I'm talking about the Chief Keeps and the and Lil Durks and King Vons. You know what I'm saying? All of them. They all fall under Hoover's flag. But absolutely. Hoover could not control these guys. Even if he got out right now, he couldn't control none of them.
I don't think so. I don't think the influence that he had back then was there. But
it's
the
gone.
Problem, right?
They respect him by name and name only.
That's
he
it.
Ain't finna come out and say, "Look, y'all got to pay a tax. Y'all gotta look out for me." Them people don't look at him like he's crazy.
Ain't none of that happening. Ain't none of that happening. No. But my thing is with Larry Hoover. Some say he should be have a sentence commuted or whatever. To me personally, on a personal level, I look at the amount of damage and destruction that he's caused the black community. He's where he's supposed to be.
All right, and that's fair to say. Like, I don't have an opinion on it one way or the other. But I will say this. As soon as Trump pardoned him, the state came out and said, well, look, they could pardon him on the federal charges, but he still got state charges.
Right.
And it's
And there's 200 years. So even if he does get, actually, again, Trump didn't pardon him. He just commuted the sentence. So if he does be able to walk away from the federal charges, he's still got the 200 years from the state he got to deal with. And there ain't no getting around that. So for all of you think that Larry Hoover is coming home, that nigga is not coming home, okay?
He ain't never touching dirt outside that prison.
Okay. All right.
Until he go into it.
Okay. Free Larry Hoover my ass. That's just my personal opinion about it. I think Larry Hoover is where he's supposed to be, right there with the rest of the ain't shitness for what the shit that he caused in communities as a direct reason of why our communities were flooded with crack. He even said it himself. You couldn't have bought crack in the 1980s and 90s or 70s or whatever, or heroin in the 1970s without him, in 1960s without him.
That's true.
He said it himself.
But how you think they got it though? See, I can tell you some stuff, man.
Yeah,
man told me a lot.
Yeah. We can. Again, there's as you said, a lot of the gangs that started with good intentions, but it did not end up that way.
Yeah, they all started off. Being community service. Doing the stuff for the community.
Yes.
But when they got that grant money, because remember, you got to understand something. In Chicago gangs, those was 501c3s for real.
Money just made them niggas.
They got that grant money, and they was like, "Well, look, we got enough money.
What the fuck?" Right.
And that's what they did.
Right.
So on one hand, they was helping the community. On the other hand, they was destroying the community.
Right. Hey there, ABT. How you doing? I see you sneaking in the back door there. All right. I see you. Looking good. You ain't driving, are you?
I wonder if Trump is going to pardon Diddy.
My era is the era.
Well, some folks said that he already considered it already. Thanks to Kim Kardashian.
When his name get drug into it, because remember, he used to party with them rappers back in the day too.
Yeah.
A lot of them white folks don't know that.
Yeah, he did.
He used to party with them rappers. I mean, back in the day, you could see him, in magazines. He was hanging out with Wu-Tang and all that.
Am I back? Can you hear me, Sid?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I think I went out for a minute there, but because you go back to the rap songs, Trump is mentioned in over 200 rap songs. So,
yes, sir. He was buddies with all them guys.
Yeah,
that's why when you look at a lot of the rappers that can even approach him, that's the reason why.
Mm-hmm. Right. Let's go ahead and finish out this last little clip here.
All right. Where men, specifically black men, begin to be extremely disenfranchised. For the most part, black men have always been able to find work, even if it didn't pay much. They were always able to find work, and even if they had to scrape and save or whatever, they were still able to maintain households, right?
Well, folks, earlier in this clip, if you go back a little bit, you'll go back and you'll see the unemployment stats that I posted from like in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s to refute just exactly what he said. The highest unemployment rate ever in this country has been squarely on the shoulders of black men, some through policy and some through sheer laziness. You cannot eliminate either. But let him tell it. Black men came up.
By the time you get to my era and me being a teenager, the Democrats had created policies that allowed many of the manufacturing companies to send their factories to other countries like
So how would that not go ahead, Sid. I'll let you in on it. Go ahead.
That policy was done under Reagan.
Okay.
When they started moving the jobs out of the country, that was done under Reagan.
That's part of Reaganomics, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Because this was the thing. They didn't want to employ and hire black men to do those jobs. So what they do, they sent them jobs to Asia. Now them jobs can't come back.
Asia and Mexico and different places
Mexico, Vietnam, the Philippines. Yeah. They sent them jobs over there. And that was all done under Reagan.
They absolutely did. They sent them all those jobs and all that to NAFTA and all these different trade agreements. But my question to you, Angry Man, is if they're moving the jobs out of the country, did black women follow the jobs? Or were they unemployed like black men? You ever heard
It was
of a
in that
mass
era. It was in that era
mass
that the United States became a service country. We are a service country.
Okay.
We don't make anything here.
Okay, made in China.
And I remember when I was in Kentucky. I was in Kentucky for a little while, and it was a Fruit of the Loom factory, like in between Frankfurt and Lexington. It was a whole Fruit of the Loom factory, and I knew somebody that worked there. And the guy told me, he said, "Look, we finna shut it down because everything moving to China." He said, "We don't even make spoons and forks over here."
Right. And correct me if I'm wrong, it wasn't until like the 2000s where a lot of the car manufacturing countries, things started coming back into, like in the rural areas of Georgia, like Kia, Daihatsu, and all those.
Yeah.
That was like the 2000s. So I would say like from the Reaganomics area to up to the 2000s, damn near everything you bought was made in Korea, made in China, made in Japan.
And the only reason why them companies moved to the United States, and this is what Trump just trying to do now, because you think it's going to work again, but it's not. But a lot of those foreign car manufacturers, they opened up factories in states where the employees couldn't unionize. That's why you see all those factories.
That's right.
In Kentucky, in Georgia, and wherever they are,
states.
Texas.
Absolutely non-union states.
Non-union
right.
states. And that was the only reason why they came over here. But it was because of the tariffs. When the tariffs was put on them, because they was competing with Ford and GM and Chrysler.
Yes, absolutely.
So they ended up bringing a lot of their manufacturing here to beat the tariffs. That's why Trump is doing what he's doing, because he think that it was like that back in the day, and it's not. China is way more advanced than we are. And a lot of things.
Right. Again, China is not as dependent on the United States as Trump is wanting folks to believe. As a matter of fact, he announced just a couple of days ago that he made this major deal with China. But the Chinese say, no, you didn't. There's no deal on the table with us. Now he's trying to say that China backed out the deal. There was never a deal made.
It was never a deal. Because you know what? China went, especially and I'm going to tell you, all these farmers. And I told you, I live outside of Chicago, so I'm surrounded by cornfields.
They're going other places, Sid.
They is not buying the corn, the soybeans, the beef,
none of that,
the chicken. China is not buying none of that stuff, and these farmers is hurting. And they going and getting their stuff from South America, like Brazil and other places. It's other places that sell wheat. And
absolutely,
Ukraine is one of them. That's one of the reasons why Trump is trying to end that war so bad between Russia and Ukraine, is because Ukraine produces a lot of wheat.
Absolutely, and
he wants to be in control of that, so he can have a say so, and that's why when they was talking about the mineral rights, that's what they was talking about. He was talking about that wheat.
That's exactly it. Exactly it is. But believe me, if there's some money to be made, that's why Trump is in it.
Oh yeah,
that's exactly it.
But it's time coming. His comments gonna hit him.
Mexico for cheaper labor. Now the problem with this is, when I was a kid, shout out to D Prez, he said good morning AM, good morning Bino Nation. When I was a kid, you're just starting to see black men really taking an interest in college.
So he said black men did not take interest in college before a different world. Guess he never watched Good Times, huh? Guess I never watched it. Guess I never watched. He never watched the Jeffersons, huh?
No, he just didn't know nobody that went to college, and wherever he grew up
That's
at, they didn't go
he
to college.
just right. Just say that, Seth. As just say that the folks around me was not interested in college. Just say that. But black men, as a matter of fact, when it comes to a different world, the so-called cool black man thought Dwayne Wade was a nerd. Not Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade was a nerd. Ron was a nerd. All those guys were lames for going to college. They weren't the heroes in the 90s. What are you talking about, angry man? Saying nothing, talking loud. This is what you do. Week after week after week, hour after hour, stream after stream. Here it is. Here it is. Somebody that's only known you through 2 streams that I've done with them. Never heard your streams before. Never listened to you. But his opinion of you is the same as mine. And I've been watching you for years. You dumb. You stupid. You're ignorant. You don't know what
Dude,
you're talking about.
I know rocks that's smarter than this dude, man.
Damn. But listen to this very last part here, Sid.
More than they ever did before, partly due to the Cosby Show and a different world, right? But by the time I became a teenager, there was still a lot of black men that were not college educated. They basically had skills for manual labor, working at factories.
So your boy here says, right here on the screen, your boy says that the only jobs that black men had while he was growing up was only factory skilled jobs. They didn't work in corporate America. They didn't go into the military. They weren't plane pilots. They weren't scientists. They weren't none of this. They were just basically relished to factory workers.
Black doctors.
No black doctors. So black men only started coming around and wanted to be educated when you became a teenager, angry man. That's what you're telling everybody.
Right. So black men didn't publish magazines.
Nothing.
What else? Didn't start companies.
None of that.
None of that.
I guess he don't know who the owner of actual Beach's Foods is, huh? This is Angry Man, folks. This is who these folks listen to on a daily basis. This is the guy that they say he's cooking. This is a guy that we just saw in this stream. Titled his stream, Entrapment or Expression. Not one time did he mention the word entrapment or expression after he mentioned it in the first salvo of his opening. Did you hear it, Sid?
Not at all.
So if I had to ask you your overall synopsis of the Angry Man right now, what would it be, Sid?
I don't know. Like I said, ignorance is something that he's very well in possession of. His ignorance go far and beyond a lot of the ignorance that I know. Like, I can understand some people feeling the way they feel, but he is just like saying stuff. And even when the AI tried to fact check him, about his ignorance, he claimed he won. He didn't win nothing. I just have to say that this dude right here is a clown.
My question to you is, how do you defeat AI?
You can't. Even when you first brought it to me, I said you can't beat AI. Like, how you gonna do it?
And still be on YouTube when the whole world ain't talking about you.
But you know what? Now, I will say this, music.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we do our little DJ shows and stuff, and we have people all over the world that listen to us.
Sure.
And you know, me and you are friends with a lot of those people.
Sure.
Who tune into the station.
Mm-hmm.
And you know,
Agreed.
like, especially when you be in the background and we be having some people like, you know, I ain't gonna name no names, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The first thing they ask me is, y'all are a country of free will. Why do y'all vote for idiots? And I told her, I said, because we have idiots that prop up the idiot agenda. And he's one of those guys that prop up that agenda.
Absolutely.
This is why this country would never get no smarter than what it is. This is why they want to keep us dumb. He don't even understand. He's a product of what they really want us to be. Dumb, stupid, ignorant, uninformed, uneducated. This is what they want. And he fits that mold.
He fits it to a T, doesn't he? He fits right into it. Clowning, yassa bossing, toting the water for white supremacists. That's exactly what you're
and
doing.
He ain't gonna never learn. And that's probably why he live in the middle of nowhere, because I don't think that he could live in a neighborhood with black people. I think that'll drive him crazy.
Stuck in his ways. That's why he calls himself a conservative, because that's what most conservatives
He ain't
are.
no damn conservative.
That's what he calls himself.
He ain't no conservative.
He had a stream called the Street Conservative. I don't know how those two match together, but that's what he called himself, the Street Conservative.
He don't even understand what the definition of a conservative is. And then another thing that he don't even understand is that a lot of black people, believe it or not, are conservative in a lot of ways. They just don't agree with the people that's calling themselves conservatives.
Absolutely. Hey there, Taylor. How you doing? Welcome in. Thank you so much for hanging out there. Thank you. Again, you know, it's not that. Let me just say this, folks. If I don't have anything personal against Angryman, but as with anything, when you see something wrong and you have the ability to speak on it, just the same way that Angryman said that nobody can post what they want to. Yes, they can, Angryman. They can post. You can post whatever you want, and it's up to the person that's looking at it. It's up to the person that are listening to it to decide whether, or to discern whether it's appropriate for them or not. You don't have agency over every woman. Again, that's why I always open up these streams with that one clip. You don't have a right. The only woman that you should be able to check is the woman that's sleeping next to you. You don't even have a right to check your sister, because she's might belong to someone else. You don't have a right to walk up to a woman and say, because you feel that the dress that she have on is inappropriate, and then speak on it for 2 or 3 hours. You don't have that right, but a lot of y'all believe that you do. So this is why I point this out to you, Angryman. It's not that I dislike you. It's not that I have a problem with you. I just have a problem with what you put out. If you don't put out content like this, I would have no reason to talk about you. Me and a whole lot of other folks, like Anton Daniels. If you don't put out content that's toting Trump's nuts, I have no reason to talk about him, because I don't watch Anton Daniels. I don't watch Angryman. If I do watch you, like I said, it's for 2 reasons. Either I like your content or I don't. And sooner or later, you're going to figure out which one it is, because I'm going to make it known. I see some folks down in that pops in the chat room here, that's here now. When they see me in their chat room, they know I'm listening to their content, because I like what they're talking about. I agree with them. And there's some other people's that'll see me in their chat room, and they know that I'm there to say, nigga, what the fuck did you just say? Say it.
Hey, you spoke for me very clearly. I can't even top that.
That's just it, folks. Right. I think we all should be aware that sometimes it just takes one of us to correct a situation, or one of us to speak up. If all of us don't, if all of us just sit down and just let Angryman and Anton Daniels, the rest of America will think we all think that way.
And that's the whole purpose. And that's why I think that a lot of the people that subscribe to this channel are people that want to make us believe and make everybody believe that, hey, this guy knows what he's talking about. He's speaking truth. He ain't speaking shit.
No,
he's just rambling.
Right, he's just rambling.
He's just rambling.
And again, the HT Ball one, I don't want to mention it, brother, but you know, sometimes I'll mention Cellulite podcast. I watch him. I listen to him. You know, again, you heard why I watch and listen. You know, it's up to him to decide which one. But I was watching his panel today, and I asked him a specific question about what is a Democratic liberal. Said, what is a Democratic liberal? So tomorrow,
that's a good question.
Right. I want to find out, because so tomorrow he's going to hold a panel that they're going to have this conversation. So I think he says it's going to start at 6. Definitely going to plan to join the panel. I would suggest all you people that are listening to me that rock with me or rock with the Cellulite podcast, come on over. I think it might be a pretty good conversation over on the Cellulite podcast tomorrow. Whether you agree or disagree with him, one thing I will say about Cell and me personally, I can have a conversation with the man. Whereas I know that I could not have a conversation with Angryman or that other idiot, Izzy is or Izzy isn't bands. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up. You're on this Monday, correct? Monday?
Yes.
Next show this Monday at
next show, Mook and Hennessy radio show. Usually I play some R&B, but who knows? I might mix up some hip hop, some of my little DJ skills off a little bit. Old school. I'm gonna bang some old schoolers. Public Enemy and Kumo D and LL Cool J and Run DMC. Yeah, I'm going back.
Definitely. And on Thursday you do a house show mix.
Yeah, I do house music on Thursday. It's called the It's Our House Radio Show, where I play house music. Just throwing it out there, but if you are a DJ that play house music and you want to get heard, I would definitely encourage you to contact Music and send him a recording. And if he forwarded it to me, it would definitely get played. So if you're a house DJ out there, show me what you got.
And
I do it every Thursday.
most definitely, folks. And also, speaking of house music, we got another one of our great DJs in the house right there, talking about HT Ball 1 right after said on Thursday nights. He does the other take you into the 1 o'clock morning with the soulful house mix. So y'all check him out, one of our very own YouTuber guys here. So much shout out to you there, HT Ball 1. You said something to me the other night right up before you left out of the chat room while we was listening to HT Ball 1. What'd you say?
Oh, you gotta refresh my memory, bro.
He said he switched up his style a little bit. I see.
Oh yeah. No, he look. I don't know if he listening.
Yeah, he's in the chat.
Oh, okay. Well, what's up, man? I've been telling Music that I've been wanting to chop it up with you. So when you get a chance, get my information for Music, man, and hit me up. Because if you want to throw a mix on my show too, hey, I'm down for that, bro. I love house music. And I listen to DJs, I had 2 other DJs, with me, but I had to kind of separate that relationship. But I'm definitely down for listening to other people. So if you want an extra hour or something, let me know, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it.
Right. Quietly, folks, without them knowing that there's a house music there's a house music competition going on over there. I'm kind of torn between since they both do a great job. So again, folks, if you
it's not no competition, man. I don't even look at it that way. I don't look at it, but I will say this, we do rock house music. We play a little different than each other, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Nothing wrong with that at all, because I'm quite sure that I play some stuff and he'd be like, oh shit.
Right.
He be playing some stuff and I'd be like, oh yeah, I like that.
Right, definitely. Iron sharp as orange. Because me personally, I don't. I'm not a big. Never dwelled into the house music realm too much. I've played it, of course, and I've listened to it. But you know, as far as trying to do it, I've been watching YouTube guys. So you know, it's definitely an art form that if you're not good at it, because as I said, as I tell Sharp, because she listens to the shows too, so she can relate to what I'm saying. Between the two of you guys' transitions, I've listened to a lot of DJs, but y'all should be on point. It really is. It is on point.
Well, you know, I was taught by some of the best, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I grew up in Chicago, so I know a lot of, and you know that, you know, I was a part of DJ International for one time. You know, I worked for WGCI, the radio station in Chicago, I was the type of DJ that, you know, when they had events, you know, I was always there, you know, doing the events for them and everything. And right. I met a lot of people, and I've learned a lot from the people that I've rocked with. So, you know, I got a lot of respect in the streets and the DJ community.
Most definitely. Most definitely have my respect, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be on this Sunday also at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do my music cafe, and coming up, starting doing the summer months. We have what we call the summer concert series for all of you independent artists. That if you have some music, if you want to be a part of the summer concert series, cook me up, catch me up on my Instagram or my YouTube page, or hit me up with an email. I'll take a listen to what you got. We'll sit down and chop it up for about an hour and a half, present your music to the public. And hey, you know, you too can be a part of the summer concert series. So you never know. That's open to independent artists, jazz artists, R&B artists, any genre. So smooth jazz, whatever. So, but with that said, it's always a pleasure. I'm not sure what Loose Nigga Roundup we'll do next. More than likely, it'll probably be Anton Daniels, because I wanted to talk about him and how he has been carrying Trump's nuts in his mouth.
Dude, I can go on and on. I'm telling you, man, but Trump must be getting blowjobs like left and right. Every time he turn around, somebody kissing his ass.
And I don't understand it.
I don't get it. I don't either.
I don't
understand. For the life of me, like, these people act like they don't have no self-respect for themselves.
None.
This man can say whatever he want to say. I'm speaking on Ted Cruz. When he talked about Ted Cruz wife the way he did, dude, that would have been a fight. I'd have had to whoop his ass on stage.
His eye would have still been black. But anyway, folks, I appreciate all of y'all coming out. I'll get on up out of here. If you're interested in some smooth jazz, my man DJ Jeff Daniels is on air right now. He goes from 8 to midnight. Appreciate all the support here on the YouTube pages, as well as the radio station. I think said normally where we started out is maybe 4 or 5 countries tuning in. We're now up to 25 countries strong, you know, on a daily basis. So, you know, again, I appreciate all the support coming from the folks on YouTube and all the other platforms. So with that, folks, we're going to get on up out of here. Y'all be cool. Be safe. Watch your 3, your 6, and your 9. Say hello to someone. Might change the way they're thinking. Might change the way they're living. You never know. Walk past them and don't say hello. We out here.
Peace.
Look, all you motherfuckers been snitching for him and shit. Well, now you standing up in here, goddamn it, talking about preaching preacher. Fuck that nigga. Fuck that. I'm gonna shoot your ass too, motherfucker. Keep on. You gonna get shot too, nigga. You gonna get shot. God bless the fool, goddamn it. God bless the fool. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm gonna end this goddamn thing. Look, where's that goddamn money bowl at? Who got that money bowl? We taking that money right now before you leave this bitch. We ain't leaving out here for free, motherfucker. Yeah. Y'all know the motherfucker ain't no good. You want, look,